Get ready to the countdown.
You want to be here?
Yeah.
Before you get in.
I'm trying to figure out what
You're
I want to go
gonna
for.
have to squeeze along, guys,
10 small potatoes.
so he can try and fit his fat ass in. Alright.
I swear this is getting smaller.
It's not, man.
I think we're getting
like,
fatter.
Right, are you ready?
Good job, I'm only skinny.
Yeah, same.
This programme was brought to you by itsadult.com, the official adult business directory for fans, producers, services, webcam, phone chat and more. The original, the best, the UK porn podcast, hosted by Paul Taylor and Scarlett Gray. Exclusive industry chat all about UK porn. Brought to you by Dusk Films. Sponsored by itsadult.com.
Right, hello and welcome to the UK Porn Podcast. Coming in your ears. We've decided we like that. You probably think it's childish.
I do like that.
Fucking great. Isn't it?
Sad, but
No, but
okay.
seriously, can you remember them t-shirts that I showed you? Like what it would look like on a t-shirt? You've got to have coming in your ears on the back, haven't you? That'll look
Like,
fucking
it is
cool.
kind of, I mean, anything's better than fuckity pie.
Oh, fucking buys legendary. I'm the only one who
No,
fucking likes
come
that.
on.
And he always tries to help us every week and he forgets what it is, so he only says half of it. Like, for fuck's sake. So, we are sponsored, as always, by itsadult.com, and we're here to talk about the adult industry, what's going on, and how it's constantly changing. And as a reminder, if you're listening to this live stream now, you could be listening to us on Periscope, YouTube, Smashcast, Fawn Live, YouNow, and on Twitter, It's Adult and at UK Podcast _team. And of course, once the stream is over, you can listen to us on itsadult.com/UK Porn Podcast. So if this is the first time joining us, welcome to the Madhouse. I was going to say 2 hours of chatting absolute bollocks, which it is bollocks.
Yeah.
It is
Agreed.
bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah.
However, we seem to be yabbering on a bit too much that we're going well over, so we'll try and keep it in 2 hours if we can.
But it's like, time flies when you're having fun, though.
Of course.
Definitely.
Of course it does. I mean, talking bollocks is our pastime. This is what reason why this podcast was like created, wasn't it?
The thing is, Paul could easily just talk the whole time without us, so...
Yeah,
Talk to himself in the
pretty
room.
much,
Can I just say, I'm not interested one fucking bit what any of you three's got to say. I've only got you here,
That's nice.
just so I'm not talking to myself.
Yeah.
I feel less embarrassed.
I bet
We don't want to be here either.
our listeners would disagree with that, though.
Yeah.
Please back us up.
They're only here for Scarlett.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, last week was a bit of a fun.
And I know when to.
Without me, did you miss us? I'm back. I've still got the cough, but yeah.
So if you've just stumbled across us, welcome and glad you could join us. And just to let you know that this version of the podcast is full of digital adverts, where you'll see the amazing Red Roxy, the highest of calibre in product design and motion graphics, Saucy Peach, another very talented designer. Both of these I've used, of course. Webstream is always a sponsor. And now we've got the fabulous Devon Breeze all on board. So they all sponsor them with us.
Hey, not
So
bad,
you'll
not bad.
you'll see their details flashing up every now and again on the screen during this podcast. If you're a company, a web designer, production studio, or a sex shop chain, or a model, or anything that you've got to advertise adult service-wise in the business, and you do want to be featured within the 2 hour show, sometimes longer than 2 hours, then just email dustfilms@gmail.com to find out about our sponsorship packages. And our rates are very, very reasonable, especially with the audience that you're going to reach, you know what I mean? So give us your fucking money. You know what I mean? So yeah, so let's go around the fucking table. Just in case you don't know, my name's Paul Taylor, and I'm the CEO of Just Films and the creator of Nerd Pervert.
I'm Scarlett Grey. I'm a camera operator for Nerd Pervert.
For now you are.
For now, yeah.
You know.
I'm James Logan. I am a professional sex shop manager / porn performer-ish.
Slash
Ish.
camera operator.
/ camera operator.
Yeah.
/ podcast.
Newbie.
Host.
Noob.
Extraordinaire.
Yeah. / swinger.
Yeah.
Lots of slashes there.
Lots of slashes.
I think we've gone over the fucking 2 hours already just to say your fucking...
And I'm Craig Coulson in Nerd Pervert. I just come around for the free tea and the crack.
And the fucking titties.
And the well, yeah, you know.
And to tell us,
Titties and crack, like.
and to tell us
good.
about and to tell us about
Crack.
your gigantic boxes that you get off Amazon and you've only got like one thing in the corner and it was the washer, now it's the fucking Amazon boxes. There's always something
aye.
there, you know.
There's always a story.
It's shocking.
So, coming up on today's show, we've got Dick Salacious, of course, with his honest and straight to the point, useful information and kick-ass tips about technology. Always a favourite. We've also got a sit-down chat with Kaz B a little bit later on.
Oh, yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
class.
And of course, we've got Scarlett Grey back with her sex fact.
Yes, I've got it prepared already.
Unless,
Woo!
less
Christ for
coffee.
that.
She knows all of them off by heart.
I'll tell you what, mind, he did well. He did well. Didn't you? Like, because
No.
I didn't even tell him. I just went, we've got the sex fact, and he was going.
Made it up on the spot.
And I was like, with James Logan, he was like, eh. And then he forgot that I'd said
I
it. And at the
know.
end of the show, he had a bigger reaction the second time I told him because he'd forgot the first time.
We am a fucking idiot,
So
innit?
he took it badly
Aye.
the second time worse than the first time. Very funny. But let's answer some questions first, shall we? Right. Now, I'm only going to read 2 questions out,
No.
not 3.
Yeah.
Because one of them is an embarrassing sex story someone...
Yay!
Ah, cool. Okay.
So I must admit, when I read this out, it's embarrassing in terms of you wouldn't know where to put your face.
Okay.
However, it's also like, that is like, you don't say that to people.
Right.
You'll understand what I mean, right? So first normal question is from somewhat Marvel Man 38. Fucking hell. He's just said, "Hi guys, love the show. Just wondering, as you are all nerds, what you thought when you heard the news a few weeks back that Stan Lee had passed away. I know Paul likes all the comic book stuff, so I want to get his thoughts and others on it. He was a great man and character. He created amazing characters, and I'm pleased he lived long enough to see them take off big in the movies." So he hasn't signed off. He's just that's the fucking end of the email. But, so just one of you want to go first in case I do take up the whole 2 hours.
I mean, you will with Marvel,
Yeah.
won't you?
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
What was the question? I forgot the question.
Stanley.
What did you think? Last time
I
we
was
got-
sad. Basically. Like, but the thing is, like, he was old, so
Wait, to be
he
fair,
lived his life.
He made a lot of money.
everyone thought he was on. He was going to
Yeah.
die when he got to 75, and he lived another 20
Yeah,
years.
exactly, it's
Because
like,
you would,
oh,
wouldn't you?
no.
Do you know what I mean? But it's weird how he only lasted 3 years after his wife, though. That's usually what does happen.
Yeah.
It's quite
Do you know what
sad,
I mean?
isn't it?
But I mean, the thing is, like, 3 years after your wife dies, when you're that old, like, that's pretty good going. Like, don't usually they die, like, within weeks and
Yeah,
stuff
most
like
of the
that.
time. Yeah,
So-
but apparently he loved his work though, because in the beginning, he got into comic books as like a stopgap,
Right.
and then he really wanted to be a writer.
No, really.
But what happened was, when people were asking him, "What do you do?" he was saying, "I'm a writer," and technically he wasn't lying,
Right.
but he just didn't want to say that he was writing the words in speech bubbles that Jack Kirby was drawing. So I thought that was quite funny, and like what turned into a fluke.
No.
He walked into like one of the biggest. Well, I mean, I would say he's probably better than Jim Henson, and I fucking love Jim Henson, like for some of the things he's done, because when you think about it, see, it's a loss that he's dead, because obviously it's not going to be the same when he's in a Marvel movie now. He's not going to pop up as much. But to be fair, from a creative standpoint, in terms of characters, he's never created any. I mean, his best work was the 60s and the 70s.
Right, aye.
Like all the main ones were created then. So other than just being like someone you just want to meet because he's got an amazing mind to think of all this up, we've missed him not coming up with characters a long time.
Right.
Because he hasn't done any new ones, you know what I mean? But no, like I say, I very rarely get affected by celebrity deaths, but I was like, you know, I thought he was immortal because you just think he's just going to keep going, do you know what I mean?
Wait, it's like, as soon as that happened, I was straight on the porn farm and I was like, Paul, you heard. Like, you were definitely the first person I thought of when I heard that news.
Yeah, exactly. But like I say, he's still going to pop up in the odd Marvel film, so it's going to be just like bittersweet now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so, off the top of your head, just before we drag this question out, has anyone got any favourite cameos from the Marvel films? Not necessarily Marvel Studios, because he did start to pop up first in the X-Men, which was obviously 20th Century Fox, and the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies and the Mark Webb Spider-Man movies, so it wasn't just Marvel.
Well, I loved it when he turned up as, what's his face? Hugh Hefner?
Oh, right, yeah.
I thought that was a dead good
in Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
See, my favourite is, which is one of the worst Spider-Man films, Spider-Man 3, when he pops up and he says to Peter Parker that, I guess one man can make a difference. And it's the creator saying it to the hero who give him his morals. So I thought that was like quite special, where some people saying, oh, it was when he was fighting a lizard and he didn't realise he had the headphones on.
I like that one.
It wasn't funny, but I just thought that the sentiment behind him talking to Peter Parker was more, that struck a chord with me more. What about you, Niall? You probably don't give a fuck, do you? Cause isn't it? So do you not watch superhero movies at all?
No. I got stuck to the cinema.
God,
Decided to see it.
What a
Like,
nerd you are.
What? Because I don't watch nerd stuff.
Doesn't watch
Black Panther shit though. Like, sorry it is
Shut
shit.
your face. Sorry.
I didn't like it.
Kind of.
I haven't
Actually,
seen
thought it
it.
was alright. I don't watch them.
I think that's the only one I haven't seen.
just before we end this question, what is your favourite type of film then, Craig?
It's like action, horror, comedy.
And Marvel's got action and comedy in, doesn't make any sense,
I
does
know,
it?
just I don't know. I like stuff that like could happen. You know, it's like, it just doesn't.
Are you trying to say?
You're trying to say Captain America couldn't really chuck a shield and knock 20 men out and catch it again? What you on about?
Reality.
You trying to say if you don't get pissed off, you don't fucking rip out your fucking jeans and fucking go, Craig smash fucking water, like that. You don't turn green.
Guardians of the Galaxy is just aliens. Are you trying to say you don't believe in aliens?
I like Alien the film and like Alien vs Predator and all that sort. Some of them I like, but you know, or even Harry Potter. I've watched that.
Right, let's just move on. This is just ridiculous. And, you can tell we're live. Can't edit out the coughs when it's live.
Sorry.
Right, the second email is from Magic Dancer. Alright. Hi team, great show last week. I only just realised you were back. I went to look for the show I had missed and caught it right at the end. And on UK Porn Podcast, it doesn't look like it's been updated for years. Is there any way I can watch what I've missed out on? How long have you been back? So great to hear Paul and Scarlett again with the additional people on the team this time. Being a tech head, we love the tech section with Dick. I actually just bought 2 of these machines he recommended myself, one to test the water, and when I realised how fast it was for the money, I got a second one, and I'm not even in porn. I just do YouTube vlogs and stuff. Oh, that's interesting, but... Well, I was going to have a go at him there, but he said he's just found us. So, yeah, so basically, we're live now, if you're listening, right? Because we're reading your question out, so you better be, because, you know, we've read your question out, haven't we? But if not, you can watch the replay on the streams, because they just loop it. So you can always watch the video version, but really we are a podcast, and we're just using the streams to get traffic. So go to itsadult.com/UK Porn Podcast, and you can listen to all the old, newer versions there. Nothing else to say, really.
You want to update that website like at some point?
No, I'm gonna do the .com though. I'm gonna fucking redesign it with a new
fancy, yeah.
Well, look at we're taking over the fucking podcasting world.
No, I
We
suppose.
might as well have a shit hot website as well.
May as well get it on fucking iTunes as well.
I'm working on it, Chris. I'm working on it.
Hurry up, man.
Right, fucking hell. Right, and the last one is the embarrassing sex story. I've really bigged this up as this, like, well, I'll let you think. Like, listen to this, right? So, Jack writes, he just says he's called Jack. Hey guys, I thought I would tell you about the girl I hooked up with one time. We had fancied each other for ages, and we just really wanted to have a bit of fun. We arranged to meet that night in our dorms at uni and we started to have sex. Within 10 minutes of her arriving, we couldn't keep our hands off each other. As we got to the end, I asked her if she wanted me to pull out. She replied back to me, "Don't worry, I won't get pregnant." I remember thinking, okay, phew, she's on the pill then. She then followed up by saying, "Even if I do, we would have super cute babies." This is not what a guy wants to hear when he's 21 years old. Least to say, that was the last time we had sex and I was shitting myself for about a week after that. I did pull out, but you still can't be too careful. Jesus Christ. Like, how does she know that, like, without officially saying she's on the pill, how does she know she's not going to get pregnant? And you don't just say that to someone who you fucking, do you?
Nah, not at all.
Jesus Christ.
That's not really embarrassing, though. That's not an embarrassing.
You can imagine his fucking face, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's just bad
It's like a
crack,
shocking story rather than embarrassing.
And what would you do if someone said that? I don't even think I would finish. I would just kick her off. You can't be having fucking lovey-dovey shit when you're just meeting for a fuck. I mean, it was mutually fucking decided that between them.
I'd definitely still finish, like. But,
What, and risk it?
yeah.
Risk the baby batter spilling and
No,
infecting the
you
baby.
probably go and get the day after pill and say, "Here you go."
Exactly. I'm modern. I'll take them to Boots.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Oh.
Romantic.
Tell you what, that happened.
Would you have a repeat performance after that, though?
No.
Would you? That's a consensus that they wouldn't
no
have
chance.
sex again.
No fucking way. Well, I'll tell you what, right? I've had an experience where we thought someone might be pregnant, or rather, I'd like a fucking condom split years and years ago, right?
Fucking hell.
And so she said, "Well, I'll take them on after pills." Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And she took it, and she was fucking ill as a dog, like really bad stomach pains, everything. And I was just like, couldn't give a fuck shit. I didn't say anything to her. I couldn't give a fuck. If
like
it felt
going,
like an alien was going to burst out of her stomach, right? As long as I didn't get up the stick when it was just a fucking little frolic, that's all I fucking cared about. That makes me sound like a prick,
Yep.
and you will be right.
Yep.
Right, because no fucking way was I ready for that.
Yeah, no,
And I know people saying, "Oh, it's alright for you, you fucking sowed your oats and then you fucking can't live with the consequences." Like, no, I can't. So, and, you know what I mean? Never said I could.
I've never had any instances where I thought I was pregnant or anything like that, so I've been quite lucky in that regard.
Good.
But I've always been really careful
Yeah.
and been on like the
What, you
pill
mean
and stuff
by
like
staying
that.
away from me?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Would you be devastated if you had a little baby nerd, like if we accidentally locked up trunk one night?
Get away, get away.
It grew up to be just like.
First, I'm telling you now, it's guaranteed its first words would be clunge.
Oh.
I probably would like to.
Before
Yeah.
daddy and shit, you know
I
what
don't
mean?
even want to think. I might throw up a little bit in my mouth, so can you please?
And like, once it's 2 and it's like running around, it'll just be looking at people's skirts if it's a little laddie, like.
You'd be jealous of it.
It would be, I tell you what it would, because he's a fucking good height there, we can give all the angles
Give
in.
him the camera.
Yeah, aye. He'll be fucking cameraman number 3. Right, so, the wonderful world of the adult industry.
So wrong, but
What's been going down? So, Kepper Games has launched a new toy line of squishy toys, right? Including Dicky Squishy, Boob Squishy, and Squishy Balls, right? Listen, this is the real story, right?
Uh-huh.
So, squishy toys are often stress balls, right? But are made with a slow rising PU material that creates a softer touch. They can also be scented as well. They've scented it with banana for the dick squishy, vanilla for the boob squishy, and berries for the squishy balls. It's just squishy balls, it sounds hilarious, doesn't it? Packaging for the squishy toys is in a reinforced poly bag, and the header allows customers to squeeze the toys in store without damaging any part of the product. Holes were added to the front of the poly bags as well to allow airflow to circulate inside for customers to be able to sample the fragrances. Packaging includes English, Spanish, French and German. Squishy toys are popular as the latest toy trend, explains CEO Brian Pellman. whose team recently introduced them at ECN. We tried to create adult versions of them after noticing mainstream versions in their dozens of major chain stores in malls. I wondered if this would trend to adults like the fidget spinners did last year. There are dozens of articles online supporting that adults are getting into the fun. The texture of material used for these resembles human touch. It has been interesting to watch people at trade shows and during our early launch meetings as you can't stop squeezing them. I mean, like, I'm not being funny, right? Like, a lot of people do have these on their office desk, apparently, right, where you just squeeze it. But, like, would your workplace want you to have a pair of fucking testicles?
I mean, it depends on the workplace, really.
Or your workplace would
My
mind?
workplace would be
You'd
fine
probably
with
be
that.
getting these in, are you?
Just
Maybe.
imagine if you
Oh,
were really
I like it.
angry at a guy and then you just wanted to like get your frustrations out, so you got a pair of testicles and you just squeezed them.
Squeezing them bollocks.
The thought of
We need some boobs to get back at you.
I've seen the fucking one tit boob thing loads
Yeah,
of times.
I've seen the tit
Yeah.
one,
It's not a
yeah.
pair of tits, it's just
No.
one.
One boob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My like workmates actually bought me one of them years ago when I was like doing a shit admin job. That was like my leaving gift because they knew I was a pervert then.
Saying you a tit.
But squeezed it a couple of times, then that was about it.
So I've just realised because it's live,
Dead interest in that story. Like.
because it's live and we're making mistakes, right? I've just forgot to ask what everyone's been up to this week, and we've already fucking
Oh, for
halfway
fuck's
through.
sake, man.
So what's everyone been up to? I'm really interested. Well, Kyle,
Really
sorry,
interested.
Chris, I really want to hear what you've been doing because honestly, your fucking stories just make the show about your fucking day in the sex shop.
Honestly, like today wasn't like that good. I had a really good day, as in I made loads of money, so that was dead good. But and I think the highlight of my day is some bloke came in. He wanted 3 DVDs, and then obviously like I have offers when you get more than like, well actually I have offers when you have more than one.
You talked them into
So-
loads, did you?
Yeah, I did. I fucking did. Like this was, and the thing is like I barely did anything.
What was his kink?
This
What was
person
his
just
kink?
really must have wanted to. Oh, it was just basically Combat Zone DVDs. They're just like a kind of, company that like kind of sells them. They're just all different kinds. But he came up. He had 3, so that was 3 for 50 because it's £25 each, or buy 2 get 1 free. And then I was like, oh, do you not fancy like the 5 for 80? And he was like, oh, do you know what? Like maybe it's like 15 quid for another. Well, like 30 quid. Yeah, why not? So he fucked off. And then I saw him, and like he came back, had the 5, and then I was like, hey, you can get 7 for 100, you know. And then he was like, oh shit, like
What, you
£10
just kept
each.
going, did you?
Yeah. So like he went over, and then he picked like 2 more up, and then he picked a 3rd one up, and I was like, fucking hell, he's picked a 3rd one up. So I walked over to him, and I was just like, hey mate, if you want, I'll do you like any over that 7, £10 each. And he was like, oh really? And I was like, yeah, no bother. And then he fucking picked 9 more up. And I was like, what? I couldn't fucking believe it. Like he was gonna get 50 quid's worth, and then he walked out with 190's worth.
bloody hell.
Buzzing my tits out. So that got me ever so close at me target. But that's just the kind
Oh,
of
you get targets,
shite. Yeah.
Even in like the perverted world of sex shops, you've
Aye.
got targets.
Like today, I've already done I'm a third of my way to my target to like get my bonus or whatever, and it's the first day of the week. So I'm like, fucking get in. I love
How
Newcastle
you were fucking
perverts, man.
you were proper fucking businessman, you aren't you? How you fucking handled that well? I'm fucking
I
well
just
impressed with that.
ask them. I always just ask them like, do you not want more? It's cheaper when you get more, you know.
Yeah.
And usually
Really
they're
is.
like,
You still come out with a
they're
good
like,
deal. You
"Oh,
haven't ripped
shit,
them
do
off,
you know
have you?
what?" No, not
You
really.
just made him spend more. He's
Yeah.
already decided he's having a wank that day, so you've gone when he's weak, see?
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean? The Kleenexes have been out since
Oh.
before he left the house.
Yeah,
Sticking the porn on, getting more horny, aren't you? So then they buy more shit.
exactly. They actually
Do you
was
sometimes do,
looking
like,
at them right by the pond.
If someone goes, oh, I love her,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, she's fucking good, isn't she? I've got a few with them. You like try and sympathise.
Oh no,
with it.
yeah, like
And
definitely.
then if they go, oh, I'm not sure if that's a repackaged one or I've seen it, can you stick it on so I can tell whether like don't let them watch too much, but just like
Yeah.
have you done that to make a sale?
You've got
Oh
to
no,
choose in
yeah,
the
like
shop for them to
sometimes I will put something on like if the like, oh, these Mark Dorsal ones good, and I'm like, yeah, and I'll stick one on, and they're like, oh shit, that's dead good.
Don't
But,
sells like arty-farty stuff. It's good.
It
like,
is arty
very
farty.
very well shot. Like,
yeah.
but they don't shoot that like porn. That's like cinematic.
No.
That.
The only thing about Mark Dorcel that some of your customers don't like is that they're always wearing condoms.
Aye. But that's their ethos, though. It's to promote safe sex. I mean, I must admit, I'll side with the feminists and the prudes there, that most porn, including ours, doesn't promote safe sex.
Yeah.
Right? But you can't put that in your story all the time, can you?
No.
Like, the hard sell of porn is you meet a stranger who's a slut and he'll fuck you without any consideration of catching anything, because we know we all covered and sorted.
Yeah.
But the fantasy is that I suppose it looks like everyone's being irresponsible.
Yeah,
So I do side with them on that, like, do you know what I mean? So have you been up doing, Scarlett?
I've been ill all week,
Yeah. And you,
basically.
are you going to apologise for your coughing, like, just in case?
Hey, I've already apologised already.
Alright, that's alright. So what have you been doing then, Craig?
I don't know, I've had no problem.
Who's fucked you off this week?
Fucking Amazon.
Aye. He sent us a
Twice.
picture. Did you see the picture in
I
the
saw the
group?
picture, yeah.
It was a box this big in a fucking Amazon Echo in the corner. They've never done that to us. Every time I've ordered something, like,
It's the same box.
don't get us wrong, the
box.
box is bigger than the product, but I've never had that much luscious
Yeah,
space in
true,
the box, like.
Absolutely ridiculous.
You could have easily fit, like, what, 20 fucking
I could
Echoes
fit-
in that
I
box?
could have. I know. I don't know what they're doing. The problem is they still like it.
Yeah, we've got one somewhere that we won. I could have fucking give you a good price on that.
Oh yeah.
It was that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Is that a price?
it's like a fucking big one.
I shouldn't have gone on the bloody.
We
Black-
deal with them fucking Black Friday. There was no fucking Black Friday in my house.
I shouldn't have
There
gone
was
on the
no
Black
fucking
Friday deal. Like, to be fair, I mean, I ended up spending like 300 quid when I saw the deals. So then they ordered them to come next day, and then
Are you one of these that likes a bargain and you end up fucking
I-
zilching your fucking account for the month?
like 300 quid.
Gotta
and
know
then-
when to stop, you know.
I know. They dropped them off at 3 o'clock, but I was out and I didn't get in till 10 o'clock. But and then obviously when I sent you the picture,
When you were like, Black
I know.
Friday, shit, everything's gonna be gone, log in.
they left about five big boxes on top of each other, nearly as high as my door, on the front step for everyone to see. Luckily, it's an alright stakes. Like I say, if it was anywhere rough, it would have been gone in about 10 minutes. I swear, even the postman the next day was like, "Did you get your stuff then?" I was like, "Yeah, luckily." You know what I mean? It was just like
No thanks to you, you stupid Royal Mail cunt.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She just said, "Sure, I tripped over it." I was like, "Oh, brilliant!" And then no bloody telling us or anything, you know, just rang us. But yeah, they give us £5 for the troubles anyway, so that makes up the £300 worth of stuff that they
Well, you might have been able to get something for a fiver.
I know, I'll have to have a look
Spend
on it
on-
now. They'll probably end up bloody in a massive box and then down the street.
Why don't you get a pair of them knackers and then next time the postman like pisses you off, you can just squeeze them. You know what I mean?
Just throw tits at them out the window.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Right, I just want to take this place to tell you about itsadult.com, your one-stop shop for the adult industry, networking events, news, interviews, podcasts, a message forum. You can calm, sell clips, phone, text or chat, all from your profile. The directory is for the adult business and the general public are also welcome. You can sign up to the site, it's free for you as well, and you can have a phone chat or you can book a webcam session or you can even buy some of the girls' clips off a clip store to help them out. Because without pussy, the world is a sad place.
It is.
So sign up today because, well, why not? It's free, innit? As long as you can spell and fill a form in, you sort it, aren't you? I've just insulted people there, haven't I?
Yes.
So,
It's okay.
But, it is time for the technology section of the show.
yes!
He fucking loves it.
I do.
Chris Cummins is like Cummins every time I mention it, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Dick's
Like,
tips.
fucking love tech.
So, the thing is, I never know what he's going to fucking say either, so I'm like learning at the
Yeah.
same time, do you know what I mean? So let's find out what he's got in store for us then, eh?
Welcome to Dick's Tips from SalaciousCreations.com. I was going to say proudly sponsored by Selena Secret, but he really does know his shit. You'll see.
Right, so technology time is one of the best times or sections on the UK Porn Podcast because we always learn something. We always get honest reviews and honest tech tips, and we also get sometimes, or most of the time, a bit of a bargain where you don't have to buy anything with an Apple sign on it. We don't talk about shit like that on this section of the show. It is, of course, Dick Salacious at Salacious Creations. Are you there, Dick?
Yeah, I'm here, bud. We're becoming the cheap shit bastards, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll have to change it, won't we? Yeah. No, but the thing is, one thing that I love about your advice, though, is the fact that it's never shit stuff. It's just because you understand how things work, you offer it at, if not better performance than the deer shit, but cheaper because it's not a brand name as such all the time. I mean, obviously AMD is a brand name, but like it's still, you know, a lot cheaper than what an Intel processor is, for instance, you know.
Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? It's about people starting up who might not necessarily have the money, who want to get in at a high level, and we're trying to help you get in at a high level. There's no real reason not to be in at a high level.
Yeah, but hang on a minute though. If they just starting out and they've listened from episode 1 up until what we're going to talk about today, and their business has improved, they're making money, really able to churn out a higher quality of work because of your tips, and then when they do get the money, we go to Apple, you can fuck off.
Well, yeah, well, there's no reason to, is there? And if you are making money, please feel free to pal me a donation.
Exactly. All 10,000 of you, just £1 each.
Yeah, just £1 each, and I'll fucking retire, and I'll do this shit full time, just speaking to you all day. But no, I think sounds like last week we covered lighting, didn't we, on how to get better lighting for a cheap quality price. So yeah. I think sound's a natural progression from there now, because that's one thing that everybody struggles with: the hiss, the hum. I mean, even quite high-end people, you can hear a lot of hiss and hum in their stuff as well. So it's about bringing you on to a full circle, so you've got like all the bases covered. Okay, so let's begin. So typically when you're first starting out, right, so if you're a webcam girl or you're a producer, you're either going to use the onboard sound, which is either going to be a microphone, which is a little pinhole in your laptop, or you're going to literally use the microphone that's actually built into your camera. Fair enough. Okay, if it's not going to give you a great result, because obviously sound only travels so far, so you can get a little bit of a delay, and it's also going to pick up a lot more ambient sound because it's a cheaper microphone. Is an upgrade. Obviously for the webcam girls, they tend to buy the C920, which actually has a stereo microphone built in with a left and right, this either side of the lens.
Yeah, I must admit, if they're quite close to the screen, it's actually quite impressive how good that sounds.
Yeah, it actually reaches out at the screen quite far as well, because it's actually full stereo sound, and you can alter the settings in the Logitech software. You can actually get it, so it's called Right Sound. That's actually worth having enabled. Now, if anybody who's listened to any of this before, you've probably heard me say, don't ever turn Right Light on. Right Sound is a completely different thing. It automatically adjusts your volume settings, no matter how far away from the camera you are, to try and give the best quality sound. Now, this is a step up, okay? I'm not going to say it's shit or anything like that. It is a step up. For the people who are filming, if your camera does take an external mic, obviously you can get an external mic that fits on top of your camera. I think the one that you recommended to me is actually fucking fantastic, if I'm honest. The
Rode Video Mic Micro.
It's the micro one, yeah. And I got to admit, it isn't stereo, it is mono. But I got to give that mic that credit where credit's due. Once I've done my post-processing on the sound comes out like CD quality. So I'm never going to knock that. Then obviously you can look at things like going to XLR gear. Okay. Now, even if your camera doesn't have an XLR input, or your computer doesn't have an XLR input either, obviously, once you've got the phantom power amp, you can get an adapter cable to go from XLR to 3.5. Now, I'm currently on XLR now. You're practically on XLR because you've got the most expensive microphone I've ever fucking seen.
Oh, this fucking thing. Honestly, when I recommended that microphone to you, it was only because I bought it as a second backup, and this one has got different audio gain settings, and sometimes I can't tell the difference. This sometimes has a little bit more bass, but this was 150 quid, and the Rode Video Micro was only 45, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got it for $39.99.
Yeah.
I don't know if 5 are different, but with next day delivery on Amazon, how the fuck do these people make money?
I know.
Yeah, but no, looking at that, and during this, while we're doing this, all you need to do is open your mouth and give it a lick.
Yeah, it's not.
He was going to do it then as well.
Actually, no, I can't. Look. It's like I'm actually further away than actually I am. I thought you were going to ask us to deep throat it every time. See, when I do interviews with people for the show, pre-recorded interviews, because we don't do that bit live because I don't want people fucking stand us up, and we do Dick's bits pre-recorded as well, just because it's easy to do with minimal editing. So he really is like that, people, right? But the only thing is, with this microphone, like I'm usually talking to the people I interview and I can't see them, but we always have the camera on, so it always either turns into a webcam show. So I thought you were going to tell me to deep throat the microphone there.
Well, go on, eh? Nobody's stopping you.
Don't think I can. It's all for me.
Anybody got a wet wipe? But no, so now to a lot of people, this probably sounds like high-end gear, okay? Now, if you're a cam girl or somebody who even films with a webcam, obviously an XLR setup is actually going to give you a little bit of a boost. So as an entry-level thing, obviously New Ear, which is quite a well-known brand, and I got to admit, they do quite a lot. You know, one of those brands that doesn't do really high quality, but they make really fucked up things that you can buy.
Yeah,
And when you see them, you just want to buy that shit, like.
Yeah.
So New Ear do a range of microphones. So currently I'm on the, hang on, let me just have a quick look. So I'm on the, I can't even fucking see it now, hang on.
I was going to say, with them cool natural daylight bulbs, you should be able to see anything.
No, I've got the shock mount over it, which brings me on to why this is going to be value for money. So it's where's the blue? Sorry about this, people. I'm usually a bit more organised than this. Hang on, I got his big brother over here as well that I use as a second sound. Right, it's the NW700. Okay, so the NW700, okay, is pretty low down in the tiers that they do, but it is actually quite a highly rated mic, okay? I actually have a mic that's actually set up over the other side of the room that's actually a model up from this one, because when I'm recording, I tend to record 2 soundtracks.
Right.
So I've got one mic that's actually on a boom that actually sits over the performers, and then I've obviously got the mic then that sits on top of the camera. So I actually line those 2 audio tracks up, and depending on which one's better or if one of them's messed up, I've always got another soundtrack to fall back on, so I don't lose a shoot for the sake of sound.
Quality. That's actually like a good thing. I don't actually do that. A professional video producer of 17 years today. It's my birthday today. This films is 17 years today, and I forgot to fucking tweet about it. I've just remembered just off saying it there.
Yeah, well, Pembloyd Happus, bud.
Aye, whatever the fuck that means.
Happy birthday in fucking Welsh, you Philistine.
Oh, fucking hell, man. Honestly, I'm meant to know that.
What's a happy birthday, fucking Geordie? Why I?
Why are you cunt, man?
Down the Biker Grove. But no, so the reason why I'm talking about this mic tonight, okay, it is a little bit higher end than what some of you have, and a lot of you might find it a little bit scary having an independent sound setup. This would cover you for laptops, phones even, and it will also cover you as well for cameras.
And if you want to take us on as a podcast show, you could do podcasts with it. If you want
exactly.
If certain people want to upgrade their equipment and up the game to try and whoop our ass, which isn't going to happen, but you know.
But if you think about it, they could also be doing audio dirty stories and stuff like that. So it's an extra avenue that they could be exploring, because if you, as we've said before, if you're recording high quality, your output's high quality. If you're recording high quality audio, then your output's going to be higher quality as well. So, I mean, you can get really deep up to this. As he slid his hand up into her nipples and gently grasped them together.
Where's the Joker?
So, the reason why I'm talking about this mic, we just get back on track, is because it comes with an amplifier, which is an NW100. It comes with all the cables I need. It comes with the microphone. It comes with a swing arm, and it comes with a pop filter as well. So in theory, that is everything you need for a golden price. I think is around about £32 at the moment.
Well, so you get all the accessories as well for that price?
Yeah, you get a desk clamp to mount the arm in. You got the microphone. You got a pop filter, so you can pretend that you're like a singer or some shit like that, like, because it does actually help. So I'm actually breathing on the mic, even though you probably can't hear that.
No, you can't. Actually, it's doing its job well there.
Yeah, it's got a really good pop filter. It's got all the XLR cables, and the best bit is it has an adapter, so you can either plug it into your laptop, your PC, or dun, 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 your camera.
So is there any loss of quality in terms of what's audible between XLR to stereo jack, or not?
Well, this is what I'm talking to you through now. Shall I switch to a webcam so we can hear some sort of difference?
If you want, I go on then.
Yeah,
we'll
give
do
me a
a live test on this section.
I just need to know which fucking one it is. She's got so many fucking webcams on this machine.
Well, that's because she's a worldwide webcam star. That's why.
Yeah, I got to pay to suck her tits too.
Fucking hell, you poor bastard.
I clicked that now. Now my sound should have changed.
Yeah, it sounds a lot more tinny.
Yeah, so this is running through a C920 webcam now.
I mean, that's still good. I mean, the majority of the people I've been interviewing for this show has been just using something like that to get the audio through the channels on the software that we record it with.
Yeah, so I'm just going to switch back a second. Give me a moment. And where is it?
And when you hire Dick Salacious as technical services, you hear that song quite a lot when he's thinking. Do-do-do.
Yeah, baby shark, do 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 do. That's all I've had all day today. So the main advantage of this is a lot of older cameras. One of our friends who holds a rocket launcher up with a fucking hedgehog hanging out the end of it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he's probably got some of the best sound in the business.
Oh, I think it's a Rode NT, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, because I thought our friend was plugging into the DJ boards at Doos and stuff like that so he can capture through the soundboard.
Oh, yeah, it's a Rode NT and I'm forgetting the fucking number on the end, but no, he can do that. But I think that's part of having a wireless receiver as well. So
right.
The wireless, so the mic feed comes out the mixing desk and into a receiver that's plugged via an XLR input into his camera. But I'll tell you what, though, it doesn't half improve the quality of live events. I mean, you're literally hearing it directly from you're hearing it better on the video than the audience are on the night.
Yeah, because there's no ambient sound in, there's no echo, that sort of thing. So technically, they're recording it directly from the source.
Yeah.
Now, you can do that. He's a lowly webcam girl. So just to make that clear. So
well, you mean me or our listeners? Because I'm no webcam girl.
Well, technically you are, innit? Just put a wig on. I'll call you Sheila.
Well, yeah, I suppose I could find a wig from somewhere if you really want to.
I bet you could. But no, it's just to emphasize the point that with one of those microphones, all you would need is an adapter to obviously plug that directly into your camera. So say you were at an event and you needed to record anything. Obviously, our friend has a wireless receiver, which is going to cost a hell of a lot more than what I'm talking about. But it is entirely possible to get a little soundboard. I've actually got a soundboard here, actually. I'll tell you what it is now, because it was dirt cheap. Oh, hang on, let me just...
I was going to say all the ones I've looked at are like at least 250 quid.
So there's my soundboard. I've actually got a USB soundboard that doubles up as a USB sound card.
Quality.
Now, what I can do with that is I can run multiple inputs into my PC and I can control all the channels. I'm not saying that porn even needs that sort of level of control, but obviously my wife does, let's just say, because obviously she needs to be able to, she's running 7 different sound sources, 7 different cam sources, all at the same time.
Everything sounds like a pun when you're in the porn business, doesn't it? My wife likes double channels. You know
yeah. My wife likes a 5-channel soundboard with mixers. Oh. So this is just to get it across to people that, yes, you can vastly upgrade your sound. You can do it for less than £40, and it will actually make a difference to your content. If you are filming and you're just using the onboard camera, obviously this is going to be a massive boost to you as well. It's actually going to make it easier when you're actually doing post-processing. Now, if you're not using something where you can actually edit the audio, okay, because obviously we've talked about this before, we can edit the audio because we're using a higher end editor than what a lot of people are. So for the people who are just starting out, there's a program called Audacity. Now, what you can do is you can download Lame XP, which is a file to MP3 converter, which is free. Okay, Audacity is free as well. Okay, if you watch a lot of YouTube podcasts and they have the screens on in the background, chances are you've already seen Audacity.
I'll tell you what, I'm well impressed with Audacity from what I've looked at. I've actually got a copy of it and I'm paying subscription for Adobe Auditions. That's their sound editor, and I don't know if I need it or not, to be honest with you.
No, it is. It's really been worked on, and they receive a lot of donations for the quality of work that they've done. The reason I'm bringing these up is because you can actually create sound profiles. So if you're recording a video, always have 5 seconds of silence in the beginning of it. In that way, then you can actually convert your outputted MP4 into an MP3, load it in Audacity, and that 5 seconds gives you a noise profile of all the ambient hisses, hums, even a guy using a jackhammer outside your house. Once Audacity knows that profile, you can actually run it through the entire soundtrack. And what that will actually do is actually remove that sound completely out of the soundtrack. It will make a voice maybe sound a little bit tinny or a little bit, higher pitched, that type of thing, as it goes through on that. But obviously, once that bit's been removed, you can obviously go into the equalizer and you can bring the voice up with the low tones, the high tones, as you need it, okay? It is well worth learning this because it is a bit of voodoo. I'm not going to lie, and I tell you what, I find sound the hardest thing of all to edit, only because there's so many different highs and lows to learn and all that sort of stuff. So a musician is obviously got the most advantage in this sort of area because obviously they know what to edit, that type of thing. It's because they're skilled in that area. So it is worth learning, and obviously you can go on YouTube and it'll quite happily tell you what you need to know, how to use this program, okay? But yeah, other than that, please upgrade your sound gear. It'll improve your quality overall. It'll also improve the immersion of the people who are actually buying your content and watching your content or listening to your content.
Well, I've always said this as a video producer and as a movie buff, that sometimes if you've got, I don't know, a security guard in a museum eating a fucking pizza and the bad guy gets in the museum, we see him on a monitor, and the monitor's always done shitly to make you, the viewer, know that the security guard's in real life and the monitor is CCTV footage, and they'll put a filter on the footage to make it either black and white or grainy, but the sound is never made to be shit on purpose.
No. I think we've all noticed a difference in the shift in sound now. Since the introduction of flat panel TVs now, when they're getting thinner and thinner and thinner, this bastard's going to show off now with his big huge telly.
I'll tell you what, right? Yes, I am, but I'll tell you what, I'm not. I don't know what I'm impressed with more. My 4K TV, watching Nerd Pervert episodes shot in 4K on the 4K TV, so I know that the cameras are fucking brilliant, or the sound, because the sound is what I'm getting the biggest benefit from at the minute, because there isn't as much 4K content out there, so I'm future-proofed, but I haven't got as much 4K content to watch, and I'm not fucking watching 80 gig fucking files, like some pixel whores that I know, right?
Oh, so, yeah, pixel whores.
And soy boys and shit, right? But at the end of the day, right, like, the whole glass is a sound bar, and I watched Civil War a couple of weeks ago on Blu-ray, and this is still to do with sound, don't worry, I'm not going to nerd out on you, right? And the fight scene in the airport, on that TV, I could hear the traffic, you know the distant noise when you can hear traffic in the background. It's a constant low hum and roar of a nearby motorway or whatever the fuck it was. I could hear that amongst the dialogue that the characters are saying to each other before they started fighting. I was like, fucking hell. And that's not even a surround sound 7.1 system where I've got speakers on the wall. That's just coming from the telly.
No, it's good to know that TVs are starting to get to that sort of level now, because obviously they took a massive dive from the old CRT TVs that we all had, because they were so deep they could fit bigger speakers in there, and then the sound quality was going down and down and down, and then the introduction of sound bars and surround sound systems. Obviously, you've probably looked at these thinking, oh, they just don't need them, innit? You don't notice any sound. But once you've got one, you'll never go back to listening to the onboard sound of your TV, because one of my favourite films is Heat, with Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and that. And the gunfights in that, where you can literally count how many shots are fired to how many shell cases are landing on the floor, because the sound design in that is so amazing. It just brings another level of immersion. And once you've broken out of that cheap shit speaker system on your telly, and you buy even just a cheap shit soundbar, that's greatly going to increase the sound quality that you're listening on. People don't mind buying a speaker system for their PC. They don't tend to do it for their laptop, even though your laptop has a microphone in and a microphone out. It's more akin to plugging headphones in and noticing what a difference the headphones make compared to the built-in speakers or the built-in speakers on your telly. So, I think as we've moved forward technologically, I think it's a case of once you've got it, you don't care, do you, anymore? It's only when that breaks and you go back to the onboard stuff that you actually notice a difference.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that little camera I've got, I'm impressed with the onboard sound, and for vlogging, it's perfect. It's almost like you would maybe do that to the sound slightly to make it sound less shotgun microphone sound, because it's supposed to be a camera just a random person's picked up and started shooting. However, when I've switched from that camera, we've just shot the footage the other night of introducing the camera as a new field of view. So it's already in the story that this camera is going to be the look going forward. But before we opened it and did the unboxing and switched the camera on, we were using, our shotgun microphones. And I've had to normalise the sound on the shotgun microphone, because when it switches in a scene to the onboard sound on that camera, you're like, oh. So it's all right when it's on its own and all you've got to do is listen to that. But when it switches from main camera to now we're on the vlog camera, God, imagine all the clunge we can get on here and introducing the camera as a character in the show. The switch is very, very noticeable.
Yeah, and you do tend to find that. It's very hard to keep everything even. It's sort of like when we colour grade. A lot of people probably play down the level of colour grading and the effort that we put in on it. Because obviously, I've shared some videos lately with some people who potentially want to film, and obviously they're blown away by it because I've colour graded the footage. I've renaturalized everything. I've brought the person out of the background, that type of thing. So I think it's that night and day difference. And I think that's where it starts separating out between people who are taking it a bit more seriously. And again, the sound's another level to that, because once you've removed all the hiss and hum and it starts to sound a bit more CD quality, that's going to wow your audiences a little bit more, and it's going to increase the immersion in the whole that you have of your target audience, and they're going to keep coming back because they know they're getting better and better quality all the time. If anything, starting off with bad stuff and then making a jump in levels each step of the way allows your audience to grow with you as you're getting better and better. Because once you've achieved that way that you want things to be, and things are of a good quality, you're never going to go back to doing it the other way.
As always, thank you for all your tips and all your input. And like I say, if people aren't getting some good shit out of this, then you're beyond all help, and just stop listening, please, because we don't fucking want you.
Yep. The only person that can help you is you somebody can offer you the information, but it's down to you to use the information.
Exactly. Right, we'll speak next week, Dick, and thanks a lot. See you later.
Fuckity bye.
Yay, someone said it. Hey guys, I'm Paul Taylor, your everyday nerd. I'm here to tell you about my reality show. I like reading comic books, hanging out with mates, and going to the local pub, but I chat to girls and convince them to get naked and do casting videos for a job that doesn't exist. My camera lady Scarlett Grey just goes along with it to get paid. So go to nerdpervert.com and watch all 8 seasons now. Nerdpervert.com, your very own Nerdflix. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, man.
He makes it so simple when he talks about lighting. Like, I said to him, I thought the most unutilised part of production for people coming into it new is the sound.
Right.
But apparently it's the lighting. Just people just don't know what to do with it.
Like, I definitely don't know my ass from my elbow when it comes to lighting.
See, I always make sure...
That's the main thing, isn't it?
I mean, it's a hell of a fucking excuse, really. I mean, if I'd have came into the business now, people would have just thought I was a fucking idiot who didn't know what I was doing. But I can't really use lights on big stands, because at the end of the day, if what we do is supposed to be real, where we, get a girl in off the street and fuck them, if you don't know she's going to be passing your house, you can't have the lights on, because that's not realistic. So we always make sure that our cameras are good enough light sensitivity wise that you can use the natural lights in the house, and it gives it that amateur look, which is what we're trying to portray more so now, Now, but obviously Scarlett isn't, you know, she's not going to be filming for much longer. So we need to make the character believe he would do this on his own with a little point and shoot camera. That is fucking amazing quality. I mean, it's fucking mental, isn't it?
I want one.
Even fucking Craig can use it, and you know what I mean.
Fuck no.
The only thing is, if he gets over the top with his close-ups now, he'll be fucking.
I know, he'll be right now.
Just shove it in.
Honestly, if I look at any footage and it's black, I just know he's stuck it
Yeah,
in.
I stuck it in.
It's like, no, you've gone past the clip now. I can see the fucking cervix. You pull it out a bit. Fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
Are you an independent webcam girl or an independent content producer? Even if you're an established brand looking to make sure you're purchasing the best performance to value for your business, check out salaciouscreations.com and let Dick take care of you. His knowledge of technology is from another galaxy.
Yeah, stop buying shit.
Right, so more adult industry news, right? Groovy Productions is celebrating multiple XBiz Award nominations, including Trans Studio of the Year. Their nods include 3 trans releases of the year for Domino Presley's House of Horrors, Real Fucking Girls 2, and TC3, Cocktails and Hormones. And the nods for the Trans Director of the Year is Radius Dark and Buddy Wood. The studio also earned a Best Sex Scene Virtual Reality nomination for Groovy's VR Moving In, Putting Out, featuring Presley, and a specialty affiliate program of the year Gong for Groovy Books. It's always an honour to get nominated for the producers and products, and like a proud parent, we congratulate all Groovy nominees as well as the other nominees and the company's said the company's Stephen Groovy to make it onto the nomination list is a reward in itself. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Stephen Groovy's from Newcastle.
All right, I didn't know that.
So he very early on, when the TS market wasn't as big as it is,
Right.
Decided to go into it as a niche, where now it's like a big mainstream thing where, you know, it's a lot of the popular titles, you know, and the thing is, again, I keep saying this, you know, because we're not gay or anything, are we? Like, just in case people are wondering.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Well, no, it's just, you know, you've got to tell people you're not gay. If they look at you, you've got to tell them that you're not gay, just in case they think you're gay. You can't be having that. But yeah, most people who watch that type of stuff is straight. It's just an extra kink in it. Because obviously a gay guy, unless he's bisexual, you know, they're too feminine looking for like, you know, guys who like men. So obviously, but this studio is like leading the march. They've always been like world leaders. And considering he's from over here, it's like, well done, you know what I mean? But see the difference of there's no TS sections in any award shows over here. So there's none in the Shafters, there's none in UCAP, there's none in Paul Raymond. UK Glamour Awards is new-ish, but that's more based on webcamming.
There's not many over here, though, is there?
Well, no, there isn't, but I always give kudos to UCAP when they did have a TS performer and the Best Female Performer one year, which I thought was, like, good, because that's how, you know, they see themselves. It must have been really nice for them to get nominated in a category that was outside of the TS category. So, you know, it's becoming more and more accepted. But it's like what me and you always say, Chris, isn't it? You just don't give a fuck what people think. If you like it, do it. If you don't like it, don't do it. It's like It's like labels are labels, aren't they? You know what I mean? I mean, why do we have to call someone straight or gay or bisexual? Why does it even have to be mentioned? Like, whatever you're into is just what you're into, and it's normal to you.
Yeah, no.
So why do you have to give it a label? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't go around going, I'm straight, don't you know? Straight pride. It's like, why do you need a gay pride? Like, just be happy and do it. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, obviously, we're still doing it because it's not 100% accepted yet. Even, can you believe in the 21st century, some gay people aren't accepted? I mean, it's shocking, really.
It is.
That they do have to have gay pride to be proud and be amongst, you know, people who have the same sexual preference as them. It's fucking shocking, really. I mean, it shouldn't happen in the 21st century, but it does. You know, so, you know, obviously, until the days come where you don't need to have days like that. I suppose it's all about spreading the word, isn't it?
Yeah,
Being proud of who you are. You know, very philosophical for a fucking show like
Everyone
that.
should just get along.
Exactly, exactly. Right, so now I think it's time to go into our chat with the lovely Kaz B. So let's see what she's got to say. Right, so Kaz B, thank you very much for agreeing to talk to the UK Porn Podcast.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Good.
So, obviously, you've been in the business quite a while now, haven't you?
Yeah, it's. I don't know how long it's been. I think it's been 2005 officially. Before that, it was kind of more of a hobby. So
Yeah.
2005. How long is that? That's 13 years, I think, isn't it?
Well, we've been in since, believe it or not, tomorrow's 17 years, tomorrow.
Is it 17? Oh my goodness! So
Yeah,
you're old school.
Yeah, proper. So obviously, how did you start out? Like, obviously, if we class it all as the adult business and then gradually get to how you evolved into what you do today, which is you're still sort of in the same business, but you're just using your talent in other areas now.
Yeah.
So so back then, so 13 years ago, what made you want to decide to get into the adult industry, and what level was it when you first started out?
Well, when I originally started, it was a hobby, and it was a little bit before then. I was just doing modelling. I think I started doing implied topless, then I did topless, and then it was implied nude, and then I got a job in broadcasting. So I was just doing that then, and now and again I do the odd shoot just for fun. And then one night I got invited to one of the I don't even know what they were called back then. I think they were called the BGFD parties.
Oh, I remember them. I never went to one, but yeah, that was the only parties that were on
Yeah.
before UCAP started. They were the originators, weren't they?
They were really good, yeah. So I got dragged along to one of those. Someone just said to me, my mate who's a DJ said to me, "Do you fancy going to a pom party tonight?" And I sort of cracked up laughing, going, "A pom party? What's that?" And he said, "Well, we just, loads of porn stars get together," and he wanted to get into the industry anyway. So we just rolled up at this party, and that's where I met Faye Rampton.
Oh, right, yeah, good old Faye. She's still going as well, isn't she?
Yeah, she's still about. She's doing really, really well. She's gorgeous. And I remember I ended up sitting on her lap, posing for pictures, and things started getting quite risque.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like my introduction to the adult industry, and from that I started dabbling and doing a few shoots and things. Then I tried the channels as well, and I was just having such a good time. I decided to go full time.
So what levels did you start to work to when you started in the porn industry?
It was all kind of, in the beginning, it was all kind of like nude, open leg, art nude, bit of toy work. And then I wanted to try girl, so I did a lot of that as well. And then for a very short period, I did boy girl, but that didn't last very long.
So what was it about that level that like made you not last long? Was it just the fact that you felt like it wasn't for you?
Yeah, do you know what? I think there's a really big difference on camera between girl sex and boy girl sex. It's a really big leap. And when I did a scene with a girl, it felt really sensual. Even if it was a hardcore scene and there was toys, double enders, dildos, it still felt really sensual and nice and sexy. And I think the girls kind of, because we all kind of knew each other, you developed that chemistry as well.
Yeah.
Generally, I would click with most of the girls that I work with. And then when I tried the boy girl, I mean, they were nice enough, but I think because they were all like very seasoned pros that I worked with,
Yeah.
I just found that there wasn't that same kind of chemistry. I remember one of the first guys that I did a boy girl scene with, and I won't mention any names, but I remember I sat down and I was feeling a bit nervous, and he started moaning about his willy being sore.
Right.
It was like, "Oh God, this is like the 8th scene I've done this week. I just want a day off." And honestly, it was the most unsexy thing.
Yeah, imagine.
Before a shoot, and I just found, I don't know, and the guys are great. Don't get me wrong; they do a brilliant job. But I found it a lot more mechanical than doing a girl scene.
Yeah.
So, and I think it depends on the performer as well. I think a lot of people can get that real chemistry on screen. But,
So it sounds like as a performer who did try boy girl, you feel like the chemistry is important. I mean, sometimes when we do it on Nerd Pervert, sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. But when you don't, you've got to make it look like it is there.
That's right.
And sometimes you can tell and sometimes you can't.
Mhm.
And I think meeting someone for the sake of like a 3-hour shoot, you know, how well can you get to know them when you think about it? I mean, you don't know how to push their buttons unless you just come out and say, right, what works for you, what really gets you going, so we can get this scene to look better. But
Yeah.
you know, there's some girls can just do a scene like that, and then some girls, such as yourself, just need that little bit more extra click there.
Yeah, and I think banter as well is very important. I mean, the one guy I worked with, it did go very well. Like from the start to the finish, he was just making jokes, and it was quite funny. And I don't know how it come across on camera at all, but it just really relaxed me, and it felt like the best thing that I'd done. So
Yeah,
I,
well, we actually get some work done eventually when people stop laughing when they see the state of us when I first come in the room with me wig and my glasses on. So that's a good 10 minutes before we get all serious again.
oh, it sounds amazing.
But I often find, because we shoot like a lot of new girls, we've got a reputation, like I say, over the past 17 years where we do shoot a lot of new girls
Yeah.
scenes, and we always promise them that if you do work with us first, you'll definitely want to do it again,
Yeah.
because you'll have a good experience and we look after you. But that goes with all, you know, the experience of knowing that a brand new girl doesn't know anything about angles, anything about how they come across on camera, you know, and they really are nervous. So you've got to make it, you know, relaxing before you start. And you can tell when you talk to them and we're having a cup of tea and we're talking about the scene. I can tell by looking at them, they're not quite ready yet. Do you want another cup? And they're like, do you not mind, Paul? And it's like, well, no, of course not, because I don't want them to feel like, even because they're here, they still have to go through with it. If they feel like they want to, you know, not do it, then I'd
Yeah.
rather them do it in my presence, because at least I know it's genuine, rather than that they just couldn't be bothered to get out of bed, you know.
Absolutely, and I think as well, you're such a long-running producer. You know, you've been doing it such a long time. You know how to manage people on set and get the best out of them. But I think there are producers out there that maybe they're a bit newer, or they're used to shooting a certain way, and they always kind of, right, time is money, let's rush, let's get this done. And there's a lot of pressure on. And I think as well, another thing I've noticed is there's a lot of pressure for the guy, isn't there, as well?
He is now. I think at the
Yeah.
back of your mind, though, if you were stood trying to go into the business, before you even get that first shoot, you already know that it's 10 times harder than it was to be a male performer back when me and you first started, for instance. Like,
Yeah.
there's very, very few handful of people UK studs who are getting regular work.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
always must be in the back of the person's mind, like, Jesus Christ, I'm really going to have to really, you know, knock one out the park here, because I want to be one of those guys.
Definitely. I remember doing a scene years and years and years ago with my ex-boyfriend, and we'd already done no, we hadn't done a shoot that day actually. No, we got there at 6 a.m. Didn't get into makeup till about 1 o'clock. We were made to sit naked in this freezing cold room. It was really cold in the middle of winter.
God.
We were ready to start, and they were like, "Oh no, we're going to go for lunch now." By the time we got around to filming, it was like nearly 4 or 5 o'clock, so we were starving, really cold, not feeling sexy, and he struggled to get a hard on, bless him, which is not really what you want on camera, is it? But
That was probably his dick protecting himself from the cold.
Yeah.
Shriveled up.
yeah, so this producer, it was a female producer, and she went, "Right, okay, well, let's bring out a girl with a strap on instead then." And then she just turned to my ex and she went, "Well, that thing's useless, isn't it? You might as well go and sit in the corner and wank." And it's just like, he was fairly new, he hadn't done a great deal, so it's the worst thing I think a new stud can hear, isn't it? It's just to be humiliated in public.
Well, I must admit, though, I think every stud's lie when they say, you know, we've all had problems. I mean, it's like, I'm a producer, but I'm also a performer, and for some reason I can't get out of the performing. I mean, I'm not asking people to get the violins like out saying, "Oh, poor bastard, he's getting to shag all these girls and he hates it." And it's like, I don't. But the thing is, like, when we originally shot Nerd Pervert, I did the pilot to sell it to our American partners who now do the site, and I had every intention of finding, you know, the guy to do it, but I knew I was going to be picky. And they basically said, well, the deal only comes if you do it. And I was like, well, I am doing it. I'm still going to write it. It's still going to be my humour. I'm still editing it. I just need to find the guy. I just did this just to show you, like, visually what it would look like, because you like the sound of the idea. And they got back to us in a couple of days' time and said, there's just something funny about the way you do it, that we're only interested if you sort of do it. And I was like, oh, God. So I didn't even know what was good about what I was doing, but apparently whatever it was, they liked it. And then we're on season 8 now. We've got like 3 episodes left, and I've got like other nerd characters in it now, so it does take the pressure off a little bit when you know, I can hand it over to them for a one-off storyline. But the thing is, with our brand, we can't just give new guys a chance, because we don't do just a porn scene that leads into sex. It's always got a narrative and a story.
Yeah.
So when I do give the odd guy a chance because it warrants the story, I usually have him there longer than the girl. So after we've done all the porn, we usually have to have cameos of him that I can stick in other episodes, like well before we're going to use the actual sex scene that he's just done, just so the audience already knows it. So it's not just a random pizza delivery guy turning up and stuff, because that's not what we do.
No, that's all kind of cliche, that stuff, isn't it? What you do is very different. It reminds me a little bit of like an X-rated Austin Powers.
Yeah, funny enough, I've been compared to Austin Powers because of the glasses and the hair, and also Wayne's World. There's a few people who've commented on the odd tube clip and they've said like "Rock on, Wayne" underneath the video and stuff.
Awesome.
So yeah. So obviously, you said you did Boy Girl for a brief period.
Yeah.
And obviously, you felt it very, like, oh, this is too choreographed and I can't get into it as much as I do with the girls.
Yeah.
So imagine if you started getting into it now. You know, like, imagine if you'd never done Boy Girl before until now.
Yeah.
You probably would have found out even harder now than you did back then, because everything's more about the hard sell now, isn't it? And everything's like more, everyone's after girls going further and further and further now, and doing more and more obscene things, because the vanilla porn can bore people.
Yeah, very, very much so. I mean, I think if I had have stayed doing generic porn, it would have been with a kinky twist.
Yeah. To
keep it exciting and I think it'd be more interesting for me personally to do. It has got a lot harder, hasn't it? It's funny because the laws have changed so much, where you can't do this and you can't do that, and this is forbidden and this is censored, and yet porn is still getting harder despite all these kind of laws, and we're trying to kind of compete with American porn, really.
Well, it's weird because if you look at nerdpervert.com, obviously it's run by our American partner, so I just write it, produce it, star in it and deliver it, and they do all the marketing and the PR, and they're the ones who get the traffic to the website. Mm-hmm. And there's the odd phrase on there that I would never refer to girls in that way.
Yeah.
And they do, because it's the hard sell. It's technically an American site with British content on it, which is why I really try and keep a northeastern vibe about it, like the intro credits has got the Angel of the North on, because I don't want to lose that. But
yeah,
certain, they'll say dumb bitches lured to fuck, and I'm like, well, I wouldn't say that.
No.
And I wouldn't say there's been a lot of people, but the odd person's like said, oh, I'm not being a part of something that talks about women like that, and it's like, right, okay, no problem. And I can't say, oh no, we don't, because we don't in the episode, but obviously it looks like we do because of the way it's worded on the site. So it's just the way they feel that it sells better by being a bit more derogative in terms of the way they treat the women, but we don't do that in the episodes.
No. I think a lot of the language used in contemporary porn does leave me a bit cold.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong. Like my character, you see two sides of him. So you see the charmer and the liar in front of them to get them to do porn, and then you get to see what he says about them.
Yeah.
When we do the talking heads bits, like in documentaries, when you'll see footage of whatever the storyline is, but then the people in the documentary always do a bit at camera where we're just talking about past tense.
Yeah.
We do that. So in those moments, that's when you see what he's really like, and I suppose we do. I suppose get a bit more cruder with it because he's not trying to impress the girl because she's not there. But we don't do it directly at the girl when I'm on set with them, because I like the contrast of he pretends to be a bit more charming than he really is, and then the audience sees how he's really a male sexist pig. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's kind of in context as well, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. But like I say, I'm not disagreeing with the Americans, because they do make us money. So and in today's society, who can say that these days? I mean, I don't think there's anything particularly good about what we do. I don't think there's anything particularly new about what we do. I think we've taken the fake casting agent thing and maybe pushed it in a different direction.
Yeah.
But it's not brand new. It's nothing you haven't seen before. I just think it's because it's got a little bit of humour in it, I think. And I mean, there's 20 minutes build up in our stuff, so if anyone just wants a quick wank, they're going to be bored shitless of our stuff. So it's definitely for a particular type of person that likes a bit more than just the porn. Do you know what I mean?
In the market, isn't it? Because there's not much stuff out there normally. A lot of porn is straight down to the business. You're lucky if you get a loose storyline. Oh, you're the plumber. Oh, I haven't got any money. Oh, you better come in and I'll suck you off then. It's all that kind of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Well, I must admit, even now, I just think, whose fucking idea was this to interlink all these episodes? Oh, it was mine. But because sometimes it's a right pain in the ass, and sometimes you can have a model who's playing a character, and then you might shoot a mature model, and we'll go, oh, I'll tell you what, we'll make her mother, and they never meet.
Yeah.
But if I know I've got two shoots close together, I will shoot them together and we join it up in the editing so it looks like they appear in the same scene. It just means you've got to get the dialogue absolutely perfect, so obviously they answer each other properly. And all of that is extra planning, which I think sometimes when you get a lot of letdowns these days, I mean, people don't take it as seriously now. We get fucked over more because we spent just that little bit longer planning it rather than, you know, yeah, it can be annoying. So obviously when you started your model and you decided boy, girl wasn't for you, did you keep doing the girl, or is that when you started going into the fetish side of things? When did that start happening?
I did a little bit more girl for a while, and then what happened was I had a breakup, moved back home with my mum temporarily for about a year, and I started doing more webcam, and so I kind of got out of doing the shoots, and I just kind of thought, do you know what, because I used to do fetish and dumbing for a short period, and I thought I really enjoyed that. I want to do a bit more, so I started doing that, buying the equipment again and getting the whips and the paddles, and once I got back into it, I thought, yeah, this is what I want to do. It's a lot more enjoyable. You get to meet so many interesting people. People's kinks just fascinate me. I love finding out what kind of makes people click, and I love doing my own shoots and directing them as well. And what I sometimes do, I do one-to-one private sessions with my slaves.
Right.
But sometimes they want to film with me, so I'll film the session and then sell the content. So I've started editing it myself as well now. So along the way, I've been picking up some new skills.
Oh wow! See, I love that. Like, obviously, you do see models doing their own content share. Now, obviously, we do more content share now than we've ever done, and I was against it at first because I was like, this is a sign of the times that we're not doing well. I don't want people to think we're not making any money.
Uh-huh.
And then my camera lady Scarlett said, yeah, but look what they're getting from us. They're getting an established brand. You're going to edit it all for them, and all you've got to do is upload it, and it's going to be better than two performers getting together and just putting it on a tripod, because a lot of the content share out there isn't very good, even though people is having a go, because you can't just learn how to produce and edit and actually use, you know, edits and wipes and fades in the right context if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I always like people when they start to get the bug for it, because I still, even now, even though I think I know what I'm doing, when something works, I'm like, oh my God, that's worked perfectly. And I'll shout the wife up. I'll like, come and have a look at this, Dan, look. And I don't know why. I didn't think it was going to work, but I still get that amazement. Even now, when something that you've spent 3 days on is actually working exactly how you visualized it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So are you finding that now? Like, are you starting to realize, like, oh, if I do this, you get this effect and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, when I started editing in the beginning, I was just, what the hell am I doing? And it was all kind of trial and error. And so I went away, watched a few YouTube tutorials, had a few practices, and had a little fiddle. And then I think like just silly little things. Like I found something like the transitions. They do auto transition, and it doesn't work every time, but sometimes they put some brilliant ones in. You think, oh, I know where that is now. I know where to find that one for next time. I don't like that one, but I use that one, and it just makes such a difference to the video, I think, doesn't it? I mean, my editing skills aren't great yet, but it's nice to be able to pick up a few extra skills that I didn't think that I would make.
But you see, with what you do, your editing skills will continue to grow the more IDs you get, and what you'll probably find will happen is the more experience you get, the next time you go to film a dom session or something, you might be already editing in your head, so your shots get better because you already know. You wish you had that previously in a previous edit, which you didn't get because you weren't as experienced as you are now.
I've got a bit more experimental. I've got this little bungee now, so sometimes I'll have two different cameras, one on a tripod, one on the bungee, and I'll move them around as well as them working.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'll think one of my space. Oh, hang on, I just want to try something a bit funky here. So the other day I had the little bungee on the floor facing upwards, like from under my legs, like so it's up my high heels and my stockings,
Yeah.
and you can just see the strap on going in his backside. It's a pretty cool shot.
But you see, you're starting to develop your style, so eventually that'll be Casby's style. That'll be basically where people will start to recognise your work.
Yeah.
And the first person who does that, it's the best feeling in the world. Seriously, it might have already happened to you where you just think, oh my God, like people are starting to know that I've shot this.
Yeah, I don't think that's happened yet.
It will though, and I tell you what, it's very rewarding, especially with.
There it is.
I think you get work done quicker when you do know what you're doing more, because obviously it just, it's quicker to do because you're experienced. But when you're learning, it seems like sometimes you're not getting anywhere because like you're too busy trying to understand the methods you're using. Sometimes that you feel like you've been working for hours and you haven't achieved anything. But just keep at it, and honestly, it'll come. I think you'll surprise yourself, but you just have to keep at it because I think too many people get frustrated and think that it's easy when it's not.
It's not, is it? It's really not.
So have you noticed a big massive like rise in like dom stuff? I mean, like I'll use you as an example.
Yeah.
We've met a couple of times at industry events and we do know of each other. And you always sound sweet like you do now. I can't imagine you ordering someone about and making them your slave. Some people you just go, oh, she could definitely fucking do it. I can believe she does it. But I suppose it's a switch, isn't it? It's like another character that you go into based on what your client wants.
Definitely. It's so funny that you should say that because so many people say that to me. They say, you look so sweet and innocent. How do you manage to dom people? But when they turn up and, they drop to their knees and it is just like a switch. It's the same as going into any mode, really.
Yeah.
And then, you just turn on this character because, in reality, I wouldn't be someone that would go or, start smacking them with a whip. But femdom isn't just about the kind of physical pain side. Oh, can you hear me still?
Yep, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. It's a lot of it is about psychology. So the minute you find what are triggers for somebody and what turns them on, often you can get them to do things without even having to raise your voice. Now, part of it is having to discipline someone if it's necessary, but actually dominating someone isn't just about shouting at them the whole time and whipping them. It's like bending them to your will.
Yeah.
And you various different tactics to do that rather than just relying on verbal. There's many ways of doing it. So it's been something that's been it's been a work in progress for me. And when I first started doing it, to be honest, I probably didn't have much of a clue. So I went away and read up on domination. And yeah, it's just it's progressed over time.
So obviously you've even mentioned some of the misconceptions there because I don't really know much about it. I mean, it's not my thing. But what type of person does come to you wanting to be dominated in some of the areas that you've just touched on? So a lot of people say to me, it tends to be a lot of people who've got like a very high profile job where they're always in charge and they just want to let go. Do you find that with you, or do you get different types of people?
I mean, I get all sorts. I mean, that is the classic one, is that they're in charge at work and they have to boss everyone around and they just want to be on the other side of the coin and, feel what it feels like to be submissive to someone and to give the power away. Yeah. But then you those that kind of see BDSM as like a comforting thing as well. And I think it stems back to them. They're kind of like craving some kind of maternal figure who will kind of boss them around a bit, tease them and tell them what to do. And it's, as much as it's BDSM, it's also kind of nurturing and comfort they're looking for, as well as a bit of kink along the way. It's the psychology behind it is it's so many different types of characters come to see you. I mean, with the adult babies as well, they kind of just want to be bottle fed. And I have one wanted me to sing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" to him, and
right.
This
so
was
that might hark back to an early childhood memory, for instance, or something.
Yeah. He phoned me up and he went, "Mummy, can you sing to me?" So I sang to him and I went, right, go to bed now, baby. You're up way past your bedtime. You've been very naughty. Go to sleep. So I put the phone down. And then he sent for another phone chat. And I picked up the phone and he went, Mummy, I heard a scary noise outside. I'm scared.
I knew you were going to say that. I had a feeling he was going to say something like, I've had a nightmare or something, yeah.
Yeah. So you get all different types, really. And they're all looking for different things. And it's usually an emotional connection rather than physical. Whilst they come, to get either some kind of sexual release or a kinky release, whatever you want to call it, whether it's through pain or strap-on, a lot of it is about the emotional connection. So they like to feel needed, and you get slaves that come and they say, I want to serve you, mistress, I want to clean your shoes, and they like to feel like they're useful.
It's very interesting. So how did you deal with your first customer that possibly wanted pain? Because that's one thing I really don't understand. I think I'd understand the dom thing more than linking pain to pleasure, because that's opposite ends of the spectrum to me. But obviously everybody's wired differently, obviously. So
that's true. In the early days, I think one of the earliest shoots I did, funny enough, was actually a ball busting shoot, and it was a glory hole scene with, I think, how many doms were there? I think I was like with 3 other doms, and we all had to kind of kick this guy in the balls and in the willy as well. And the other guy that was meant to be working with him didn't turn up, so he had to take the whole lot all day long on his own, basically.
Bloody hell.
I could see the other girls, they were wearing these big pointy boots and smashing the head out of these balls and, really going for it. And he was black and blue and looked in the right state. And I was just thinking the whole time, is this safe? Is this okay to do? So I was holding back a little bit. And then about halfway through, he turned around to me and went, do you know what? You don't kick as hard, do you? And I was like, right, we'll see about that. So I don't know. I think sometimes I probably have hung back a little bit when practicing BDSM, but slaves are very good at pointing you in the right direction. And if they feel you're not going, hard enough, because I think if you've got an experienced sub, you can go quite hard with them. But anyone new, you've kind of got to test the waters and build it up quite a lot. But the ones that want the more pain, they're not shy about letting you know. And it might not be direct. You have to kind of read them. So they say, oh, mistress, you're not going to make me do that again, are you? Which is obviously code for please hit me with that again really hard.
Yeah.
It's just kind of reading between the lines, and what they say isn't often what they mean. It's how they say it.
So obviously, is there some sort of, I mean, obviously in porn, you've got to have a model release form. But do you need some sort of legal consent? Because I mean, for instance, like kicking someone who in the balls like really hard if they like it can also damage their testicles where they couldn't father children in a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And like, have you ever been worried about the comeback of that? Like, yes, they've come to you for that, but have you got any evidence that this is okay? Do you do like a quick video testify thing or what?
I mean, ball busting isn't something that I personally do a lot of. I've got a couple of people I work with for that, and they're out there on the internet and they've done hundreds and hundreds of ball busting shoots before. But if I get a newbie say to me, can we film ball busting? I generally don't do it because, with the potential risk involved. But with other kind of disciplines of BDSM, it's a lot easier to build it up. Like strap-on, for example, if you lube someone up well enough, whether you're using a willy or a strap-on, to start small and build up, and then you can go quite hard. With ball busting, it doesn't really work the same, does it? You can't, I'll start light and then kick you hard, because it can be that final kick that tips them over the edge.
Yeah. So obviously, like you say, with somebody new, you've got to build up to what you know they can take pain-wise, really.
Exactly, yeah. I always go in, because I think that's what they want as well. I think the ones that come for private sessions don't always necessarily want to, go meet someone new and straight away go straight in at the deep end and start having like the electrics on 20 and, being beaten with 400 lashes. They like to test the waters, and you've got to build that trust first. Trust is very important in this dynamic. And once that trust is there, you can start pushing the limits and, just getting closer towards those boundaries. And over time, those boundaries and limits might move. But, it's like what they say, isn't it, about putting a frog in water? If you throw a frog in boiling water, it will jump out. Yeah. But if you put the frog in the water and heat it up slowly, it kind of doesn't realise what's happened. And I think that's what happens with some of the subs, because they say, "Oh, I took that dildo attachment. That's 10 inches. Do you know what? I'm going to try for 11 inches next week." And I think a lot of the time they're kind of giving themselves challenges as well.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
fascinating. That, I mean, like I say, I've never really talked about this type of thing. Believe it or not, I'm quite prudish with some things, even though I'm a pornographer and a performer. It's weird. So obviously, you're obviously a writer as well. So when did that start, and is it more about, you know, experiences of sessions like this, or is it not even adult orientated at all? Like, what type of topics do you write about, and when did that start?
Well, I started. I've always written stuff over the years, but it's always been for fun. And then about 4 years back, I started writing online for Men's Stuff magazine, a couple of other blog sites. Started working for the Daily Sport as well as Agony Aunt. And then around that time, someone had seen a lot of my work and said, "Do you fancy writing a book about fetish?" And I thought, well, yeah, because, you know, it's what I do. So I was briefly working with this guy. We parted ways a little while afterwards because it just didn't work out with him. But I started writing a fictional book called Sordid Secrets, and it was based around, I'd written this short story on my blog. So the story was kind of very different to how the book turned out, because I adapted it for a bit more of a mainstream fetish market. And it's the story of Lady Athena, so it's not about me, it's fictional, but of course it's inspired by stuff that's happened in my own life as a mistress.
Which is usually the best way to write about what you know, isn't it? And you just put a spin on it.
Yeah. So the original story, it turned out that one of the main characters was a transgender.
Right.
But the publisher said at the time, you know, I think for a mainstream market, it's best that you change it. And I didn't agree, but I adapted the story anyway because I already had this other story on my website.
Yeah.
And so that got published. Me and him didn't work out very well together, so I then branched off on my own, and I started self-publishing on Amazon. And then I wrote my second book as well, so it's like a series now, and it's the second book in the series.
Nice.
And then from there, I'm probably going to take a break from the fetish books for a while. The only reason being because I like writing other genres as well.
Right, cool.
Just kind of, you know, challenge myself and push my skills and write about other things as well under a different pen name.
So have you got anything like literally in the shops, or is it all like sort of digital downloads like for Kindles, or like where can people get read your work?
At the minute it's on because you have to be exclusive to KDP if you're in that's Kindle Direct Publishing.
Right.
For a certain amount of time you've got to be exclusive to them if you're in their club, and I think then after 9 months you can start putting the book in other places. So the first book is also, now that it's out of its exclusivity, it's now on places like Smashwords as well, which send to the bookstores.
Cool.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I can't do anything with the other one, but I'm writing 2 other books as well at the minute. And those are fantasy based.
Oh, wow. So any little hints at what it might be about in terms of fantasy? Like what genre in the fantasy realm are you stepping into?
It's, like I said, it's going to be under a completely different pen name because it's going to be based at a much younger audience.
All right, okay.
So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do next, because you know I kind of like live in this magical world in my head anyway, and if life was full of rainbows and unicorns, I would love that.
Well, why not create a world where it is in a book?
Exactly. Yeah, you can do anything you want in a book, can't you? You can, you know, create anything. And that's what I particularly love about many types of literature, is that anything can happen. You know, we're not constrained by the same rules that you are in the physical world.
Yeah, definitely. Well, just think about, though, if you're going into a fantasy, anything you can dream up. I mean, can you imagine if someone like Red Roxy designed your book cover?
Oh, my God, yeah. Yeah, he did my other 2.
Oh, did he? Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, he did Sordid Secrets. He designed the cover for Dreaming in the Dark as well. So, oh God, I love those book covers, because you see a lot of book covers coming out of Amazon. Some of them are really, really good, and then occasionally you think, now that person didn't get a professional designer. They've
you can sometimes tell that the author's just had to go of herself to make the release date, haven't they?
They have, yeah. So that's like the last thing I wanted to do. So yeah, Red Roxy is such an amazing designer.
Well, look at his DVD art covers he does for the adult Insta. They don't even look like porn. It looks like a feature film poster, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. He should be doing stuff for Hollywood.
I mean, he actually did our Dust Films logo, and it's the best thing ever. And obviously, the logo was always like a sort of full moon with a silhouette of a naked woman in it. And then Dust Films around the moon. And I said, look, you know, I don't want to hold you back. Just keeping the same theme, but just put your own spin on it, because I think it needs a fresh pair of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't really want it for you to be able to tell that it's a porn company. It could be that I do porn under the same name, and I could do something that isn't porn and stuff like that. Think of it along those lines. Anyway, when he did it, it's like the DreamWorks logo, and I'm not saying he ripped it off. I'm just literally saying it zooms up from the clouds and goes into space, and then you see, you know, the Dust Films logo wipe on. It's amazing.
Yeah, because I can see it on my screen right now on this Skype screen. I've got Dusk Film.
Yeah, that's it.
Film. Yeah, and it does look a little bit like that, but with its own kind of creative spin on it. So it's, and it could be anything, couldn't it? It couldn't, you know, it's not limited to porn. It could be a full feature-length movie, or if you ever wanted to branch out into something else, you could do that, because it's generic. You've not been typecast there with a logo.
But that's how good he is, that you can just give him a very basic brief, and I don't even think that was a very good one to give him, and look what he did with it. Yeah,
he's amazing. Good guy.
He's really, really good. So, let's move on. I think we're catching up to the present day now. The UK Glamour Awards. Now, obviously, I know you're involved in that heavily. And was it your third year this year, or your fourth?
Goodness, what was it? I think it was second year. I know it feels like four, though, for some reason.
Right,
yeah.
Well, one thing that really stood out this year, which is why I told you privately I want to get involved next year, is obviously UCAP's the oldest one, and they do their own thing. I mean, they do some things good and some things bad. You know, then you've got the Shafters, and then you've got like the Paul Raymond Awards and stuff like that. But yours, certainly the last one, seemed just stood out more than the other two. And I don't want to offend any of the other organisers of the others, but I just went, wow, you know, adult genie girls and these posh sport cars, and just the paparazzi that you had there. And I was thinking, bloody hell, like second year and you're doing this already. It was like really impressive.
Oh, thank you. I think what it is, I think you know, people like UCAP are very established, and so they do their yearly parties, and you know, everybody knows about it, and they're going. And we weren't going for the same. They weren't going for the same audience. They wanted to, let's open this up a little bit more. Adult performers are very, very welcome, but let's open it up to the glamour people and people that wouldn't normally get to go to this kind of awards. So it's looking at a much, you know, a different market really, and it's to appeal to a slightly different audience as well. And that they realised to do that, they'd have to up the game a little bit and put on a bit of a show and do things to, you know, make people really enjoy themselves, because I think it's a lot harder to kind of put on a party that's a bit more mainstream.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be, because the adult stuff takes care of itself. Like all someone has to do to put it crudely is get the tits out and the photographers go mad. But, you know, for what you do, I mean, it looks like more work's gone into it, because obviously it has, because like you say, it's harder.
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially like the first year. There was hours and hours and hours of the whole team kind of like being sat at computers on the phone, sometimes until like 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to get things organised and put things together. But you know, over time, you know, you network and you make contacts, you get on with people, and you know, you help out other brands and they help you out as well, and things just grow as long as you're fair in business. That's, you know, one thing I've always found in life. As long as you're fair in business and you're good to people and you do the best you can do, along the way, you know, you're going to build up a good reputation. And you've just got to, you be true to yourself and stick to that all the way down the line.
So describe like a typical night at the UK Glamour Awards. And so how does it go down? How does it start when you arrive, and then what type of awards do you give out, and what type of stage show and presentation do you put together?
Well, the last one was in September, and the doors opened at 6, so it's kind of like time for people to arrive, have a drink, chill out a little bit. Then a lot of the Lambos arrive, so the girls and the genie girls will go upstairs and have pictures taken on all the sexy cars outside. And it's funny because that always creates a bit of a stir. And
yeah, it did the latest one, didn't it?
It did, yeah. You get people stopping in the street. Even the policemen come to have a look as well, and they were quite interested. But they nothing. They weren't bothered about anything. They just wanted to watch. And then after that, kind of, we had Dame Bowers presenting, and the lady from used to be in Fragma as well, Maria Rubia.
All right, cool.
They were presenting on the stage, and I think we had, I think it was 10 categories this year. So it was things like best lingerie model, best grid girl, which Petrolhead Rally sponsored, best fetish model. There were loads of categories. So it was a case of the presenters entertaining everyone, whilst everyone had drinks, bit of chit chat, giving out drinks as well. We give out 3 bottles of Empire vodka to all the sponsors.
Oh, nice.
And so everyone was, having a few drinks and enjoying themselves, and and then the awards get given out, and after that it's a bit of a party.
So do you not think that? I mean, you've obviously worked hard on it, but you won't get hit with the same stigma that the Adult Industry Awards do, and that's why you've probably got a higher caliber of presenter. And you've got mainstream sponsors that's not adult or glamour based at all, because a lot of people, even though I work in the business, I've got to say it as it is. Some people just don't want to be sort of hit with the stigma of being involved with the adult industry when they're mainstream.
It is a shame, but unfortunately that's the case. Some people just won't have anything to do with adult.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that can hold back a lot of adult brands, I suppose. So obviously UK Glamour Awards is not an adult brand. So that was, I suppose, in a way that opens up a few more doors, doesn't it?
Definitely. But the thing is, if you organise it with the professionalism that you guys did, it already, I'm not being funny, but nearly outshone the other adult industry award shows as well. Like, this is what they should maybe be doing themselves more. And not aiming it more at adult performers, because that's maybe the bit where they all fallen down a little bit.
I think all of these awards have got their place, and they each do their own thing, and they do it very well. But what I think is, everyone, whatever you do in life, you can always be a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you can always do it better. So the only people you should really be competing with is the person that you were yesterday.
Well, I totally agree with that. I mean, we've even angered a few people that our podcast, I don't want to say is going up against another show, because it's not on purpose, but it is. And I had people in the business telling me not to do it and pick another night, Paul, and stuff like that. And I was like, hang on a minute, I've researched into this, with my time off in the summer from shooting a Pervert. I invested money, I invested time and research, and it's not my fault if we doing scarily better straight away with the streaming services, because we know how it works, because we've studied it. And just clicking stream and expecting people to come and watch it isn't enough, and we've got the upper hand there. But it should be making the other people want to do better, and I don't see it as competition. If they see us as competition, well, I'm sorry, that's the way it is, that's the way they think. But like you've just said, you're competing with yourself and yourself only, and I strive to do the show better every week, and you'll try and outdo yourself next year with your award show.
Definitely, yeah. I think if you just keep trying to do better than you've already done, you can't go too far wrong. And I also don't think there's anything wrong with a bit of healthy competition either. I think healthy competition can lead to very productive things. Look at some of the big brand names out there in the mainstream. You get one come along, and let's say Amazon, for example, they're starting to do groceries now, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Which they did before. So what will happen is, once they start making loads of money, people like Tesco and Asda are going to have to up their game, aren't they?
Yeah.
So competition always improves everything for everyone, and it always leads to more advanced technology as well.
Well, every time I order something from Amazon, I can't believe how fast it arrives. I ordered a new camera and it came within 10 hours, right?
Bloody hell.
And I'm thinking, how can the mainstream like electronic stores compete with that, but they're going to have to, like you say, they'll have to up the game somehow.
Yeah, they will, won't they?
Yeah.
So I see competition as a good thing, because if you're worried about, if not you personally, but if someone's worried about what someone else is doing, well, just go and do whatever you're doing better.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a great way of looking at it. I mean, I've even had guests book themselves in to do an interview and then decided not to because they've been on the other show and they don't want to go in the middle of something. And I'm like, in the middle of what? There is no middle.
No.
I just don't get it. It's like, that's like me saying to you, oh, Kaz, I can't come to the UK Glamour Awards, but thanks very much for the invite because I go to the UCAP and the Paul Raymer one. I can't go to yours. It's like, yes, I can.
Silly, pointless politics, isn't it?
Well, yeah, politics where it's not needed, though.
I know, it's why can't everyone just get on? It's kind of like being back in the playground sometimes. And well, I don't speak to that person, so if you're going to their party or doing that, then I can't. It's nonsense. Get over it.
Well, no, you're totally right. But the thing is, you see, the adult business is, I would say, in a dire state now at the minute. I mean, it's like everybody's struggling, and even the webcam business is starting to struggle now because it's getting saturated. I mean, if I was sat at home and I didn't do porn as a living where, I'm not being funny, you get sick of seeing tits sometimes. It's just like you get so desensitized with it, and you've got to act like when you perform with them, it's like the first pair that you've ever seen. But it's like you look out and you go, well, this is my job, so it's normal to me. And sometimes we take models out for a bite to eat afterwards if the train's not due for 2 hours or whatever. And you are going to talk about that at the dinner table, but you've got to remember that you're in a public place and this isn't normal to everybody else. And your choice of topic of conversation is not that great, but to us it's normal, isn't it? And I think it goes without saying that everybody, there's good things and bad things about everybody's job. But I think the adult industry at the minute is struggling because I can see so much technology out there, and I hope I've proved this with my podcast coming back and how I've managed to rank so high on the stream so quickly. Is because I could see how people weren't utilised. I was thinking, the idiots, why are we not doing this with it? So I thought, oh, fuck it, I'm going to have a go. And let's see if I'm right. And so far, so good. And the industry gets stuck at, I used to make money that way. And they talk about the good old days. It's like, yeah, but the way you make money now is by doing it this way. So stop talking about it, stop whinging, and keep moving forward. Doesn't matter what law comes in, we'll overcome it. And the business will adjust, it'll still be here. But every time a new law comes in, like age verification's the latest one, everyone's like, oh no, I'm going to shut my site down, I can't be dealing with it. And you just think, whoa, just calm down.
Yeah, I think people are very quick to panic, aren't they? And have the kind of Armageddon scenario.
Well, how many times has it been Armageddon? Like,
so many.
the death of American porn cinema to VHS, VHS to DVD, DVD to web. And and now web to clip sites. The clip sites make more money than the mainstream sites now, but you've got to adapt. So I stick my stuff on clip sites. You've got to keep going.
I love the quote by Albert Einstein. He says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Yeah.
So true, isn't it? If you keep doing the same thing, you're not getting anywhere. Do something different.
Exactly.
And be a bit creative. Think outside the box. So many people, once something's out there, they that looks like it's doing well. I'll copy it. Oh, they're doing this thing. They're using that colour. I've got to copy it. And it's like it doesn't take that much to kind of be a bit creative and come up with new stuff.
Well, it's like when we started out with our brand, it was like, I know it was risky and I could have bored the shit out of people and people wouldn't, might not have even watched any of the extra effort I put in. They might have just fast forwarded straight to the porn. And for the first 3 or 4 seasons, it was, I was thinking I should be doing better than this. I think this is good. I've just got a good feeling that we deserve better than this. And I nearly walked away from it. But eventually we found an audience. And even now I just think, God, if I'd have walked away when I did, like I wouldn't be where I am now. So it's weird how sometimes you just get a moment of weakness where you just think it's not going the way I want, I'll give up. And sometimes you've just got to say, no, that what I'm doing, I enjoy doing and I think it's good. And one day you might find an audience, which I did, and it's the same with everything else, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I think success is mostly just perseverance. And most millionaires and successful people are just people that did not give up or take no for an answer. I think if you keep pursuing something and you keep pouring all your energy and work into it, eventually it's going to pay off. which it has done with you, and it does, But I think some people do think, oh, it's not working, or I'll give up. It's not going to get anywhere, and obviously, those that decide to give up aren't going to succeed, are they?
So, you mentioned about obviously your books are out, and obviously the ones that people can obviously get. So, what are the titles? What are they called, and where can people purchase them if they're interested in checking out some of your literature?
So the first book is called Sordid Secrets. That's the first one in the series. Mm-hmm. The second book is actually a prequel. It's called Dreaming in the Dark, both by Kaz B, and you can find those on Amazon. If you go to my Twitter, my handle is KazBXX, KazBXX, and you'll find links to my Amazon on there. Quality.
And what's next for the future for Kaz B? What's the next 12 months looking like, or even the next couple of months? Like what have you got going on?
Well, it's Christmas next month, isn't it? So, of course, the UK Glamour Awards Christmas party is coming up. That's going to be on the 6th of December, and it's going to be crazy. It's at Spearmint Rhino. Doors open at 6, and anyone that wants to get on the guest list, any girls that want to get on, or performers, can contact UK Glamour Awards on Twitter or Facebook, and their handle is UK Glamour Awards. So it's going to be a real world party. You can dress up, wear your Christmas costumes, reindeer ears, Santa outfits, just as long as it's sexy and glam. So yeah, that's next month, and then it's after the festive season, back to the grindstone for January, and working on Adult Genie, helping them out with their launch, which is going to happen in January. Me personally, I'm going to be back writing books and shooting lots of very kinky, dirty fetish videos as well.
Cool. God, that sounds like a nice year you've got ahead of yourself. But yeah, Christmas party and loads of sexy Santa outfits. Yes, please.
Yeah, well, just let me know if you're coming down, and we'll sort it out.
Will do. That sounds cool. I might even try and make that, because I don't go to many Christmas parties. We've lived in the north, so obviously I've been to all the others and I haven't been to one of yours. Like, I really want to go to the UK Glamour Awards next year. And we'll talk about that close to the time. But yeah, I just want to try to see how you do things, because I'm not being funny. It looked like a better night. I'm not being funny.
It was wicked fun. It was wicked fun. The good thing is it's a nice early one as well. So if anyone's got Christmas plans with family, it doesn't interrupt it, because it's right at the first week of December.
That's probably the best time to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Everyone can just come and have a good party and enjoy themselves and have a few drinkies.
That's what it's about. The season of Christmas is all about that, isn't it?
Yeah, might as well start as you mean to go on.
Yeah, make a month of it. Don't wait until the 25th. Just start on the 1st of December.
Yeah, exactly. Treat it like an advent calendar. Every day is a new treat.
Right, Kaz, thank you very much for talking to the UK Porn Podcast, and I wish you well with all your future endeavours. And hopefully you'll pop back on the show some other time when you've got loads of other news for us.
Definitely will. Thank you so much.
No problem. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Not bad, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting. I mean, like I say, it's nice to know that, people can come out of porn, still stay in the adult industry in terms of being a dominatrix and also being a writer. You know what I mean? Because for some reason, some porn stars, well, a lot of porn stars, by the general public, get a stigma attached to them that because they're porn stars, they're just sluts and they've got no brains. Well, to be a writer, you've got to be pretty articulate and you've got to be good with words. You know, so why can't you be? You know,
That's true.
Everything we do isn't all we can do, no matter what you do, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you like sex doesn't mean you're not smart.
Oh, exactly.
You're
Exactly.
just smart, actually, you want to fucking...
Judging a book by its cover, really, isn't it?
Exactly. There's the fucking washer you can tell me live.
Actually, that was the dishwashing
Was it?
wash machine.
Oh, I don't even know your own...
Sounds the fucking same to me. Same to me.
Utilities.
If you've got all your coughs out, Scarlett, it's that time of the fucking closing part of the show where we have a sex fact off you.
I did actually have it ready, and that's as long as wait. Give us a sec. It's because it always reverts back to the beginning.
That means the app shit.
Right, okay, I've got it. Hey, didn't take us too long. Right, it says 67% of men prefer women who shave south of the border.
I'm not bothered.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm also not bothered.
I like a bit hair, me, now. I think it's because you're that used to seeing bald pussies in porn with us being performers.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is, right, like, say what you want, but porn is transcended into mainstream, not in terms of being more accepted, but people shave the balls now just because they've seen it on Pornhub or in someone's, fucking porn scene. And women sometimes go bald even when they know in the porn industry. And they've getting the idea from porn. That's the sort of the sexual fantasy that they've seen, and they're like, oh, that's a good idea, that. And when you were bloke and you find out it makes your dick look a little bit bigger.
Exactly, yeah.
You're never going to let it go back. But when I get a model in who's got some hair,
Yeah.
I fucking love it. And that can be ranging from a landing strip to it being actually quite hairy, as long as it's like not the bacon line, so you can still get it.
Yeah, like there's definitely I feel like I've still got limits. Like when it's an absolute massive bush and it's like kind of halfway down the legs. That's when I'm like,
Oh no,
like trim that in a
once
bit.
it joins
like,
into the legs, like that's going a bit too
Yeah,
far.
exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like, oh Christ.
But no, there's like some models I've known, like who I'm still friends with, who have possibly had surgery, had a bigger boob job, or had a tummy tuck or whatever, and they've shown the bush because when they're out of work while they're healing, you're not going to keep on top of it because you don't need to. You're not getting paid for it. And then sometimes they'll show me and say, God, Paul, look at my bush. Oh, it's fucking lush. Are you keeping it? And no. It's like, why not? It's like, well, it needs a trim. It's like, well, from here it looks fine. Right. But you're probably right. It probably is thicker and longer than it is. But you could trim that down and keep it. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah. So what's everyone's thoughts on that then?
I think it's one of them things like, back in the day, it was like this big thing to have a big hairy bush, and then it obviously went out. But I feel like lately it's coming back in. Yeah, it's like it's kind of like the new cool thing to have a bit of a bush.
Yeah.
So
Depends,
like have the Jackson 5 down there. No?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe not that bad.
Yeah. Actually, I've actually told a lie there, because I said like it's a closing part of the show and it's time for Scarlett's Sex Fact. But you sort of just sprung on this new section without like clearing it with the boss last week. And
I am a bit spontaneous,
Are you doing it this week, or is this something that we have to expect as a section
this.
now?
Yeah, you
Last
did
time.
miss out on this.
I missed out.
Sex
Have you
taco.
brought something?
Sex
Sex
taco.
taco.
Well,
Some more food.
I have brought something.
Hey!
I'll go and get it.
Okay.
Right.
Not prepared.
I've got.
No one's prepared on this fucking show, man. You can't be prepared.
The last time.
Why the fuck would we want to be professional?
I hid it under the
I
couch.
didn't even fucking see
And then I
you
just
do it.
whopped it out. But this time I brought
Whacked it on the
things.
table.
You brought two things.
Yeah, but like I don't
You should
know.
keep.
Yeah, I
what
don't
we're gonna
know
show. You're
if-
gonna run
right,
out of
okay.
fucking filth now.
Right.
2, 3, 4, 5.
This is what I was kind of thinking. Right. Do you want something
No.
that is, in my opinion, ridiculous, pointless, like just a heap of shite? Or do you
Who
want
wants that?
do you want to see something that's, I don't know, like kind of an actual thing to I don't know, have a little bit of a talk about whether or not you think it would be like a good thing if
I'm so confused. It's like the longest.
I'd go for the ridiculous.
Shit or something. It's
Well,
quite
no.
shit, but it's
Sometimes it could be something cool, and then sometimes it can be something ridiculous.
And this is why it's
Just
not
get
a
it the fuck
proper
out.
section, because
better.
it's
Get the
just
fuck out.
Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing as
load of
usual.
bollocks. Right, okay.
Have you even brought
So
it?
wait, right. What did we decide on? What one do you want to see?
They're saying both.
Something cool.
Something.
No, I didn't mean both today. I meant.
Shit, that no one
I
cares
thought he was
about.
asking, is he always going to bring something that he thinks is cool or ridiculous? I'm saying mix and match and just.
Oh no, like I'll mix and match. It's
Yeah.
just today I brought both.
Right, well, we'll have something
Both.
what you think is
Miss-
cool.
Something. Okay.
Put my hand in the bag
Right.
and try and guess what this is.
Okay. So this is the thing. Well, I didn't necessarily say cool or anything, but it's odd a little bit. It's interesting. Right. So it's called the Intimate Spreader. It's I don't know, like it's
Is that stretch
it's
of
hard.
piss flaps?
I mean, this is for Scarlett.
Oh,
Lovely.
Where do you think?
How much is that?
Where do you put that?
20 quid.
Obviously, you put it on the outer lips to spread you apart, basically.
Well,
So you
Kind
can-
of.
so
This
you can
goes.
get access
This
to
goes
the clit.
inside.
Inside,
Yeah.
really?
So right, yeah. So I don't know. How do you even describe this shit?
Is that so you can accommodate big cocks?
It's not. It's not. It's,
Damn.
like it does actually have a purpose. It's a fairly interesting little
Because
purpose.
it looks a bit like, you know, like wings, like sort of that sort of shape, like
Kinda.
you know
like,
those exercise things that you put in between
Yeah.
your thighs and you push
Yes.
them together.
Right.
It's like
yeah,
that.
it does kind
reminds
of look
us
a bit like that.
It reminds us of that, obviously without the ball in the
you
middle.
don't like inserted in there, it doesn't make you levitate or anything. Since
It
it's got
doesn't
wings
make
on.
you levitate. No,
okay.
no.
Reaches the C-spot, spreads the labia and exposes the clitoris.
Yeah.
Oh, is that for stupid cunts who can't find it when they're eating it?
Kinda. Like there's pictures on it, so it goes in.
Oh, it's meant to
It-
stimulate the G-spot,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Because like. I don't know, like that kind of, because it's ridged as well. So that bit goes in, it stimulates a G-spot, whilst also holding like your labia open. So it is like kind of good access to the G-spot. But this can also be used when you're like shagging your lady. Putting that lovely politely there.
Why would you put that in
know.
so your dick doesn't touch the sides?
Well, no, that's the
wider.
thing. That actually touches your dick as well. So
it'd
it's
be
stimulating both
for
of
you.
you. It's stimulating her G-spot. It's stimulating your
Expanding
shaft.
the vagina.
That kind of thing.
Tickle your balls as well.
It
No.
doesn't tickle your balls. It does not do that.
Because it says here, with the gentle curve inserted into the vagina, the G-spot is stimulated on target while the labia are spread wide apart. This means he has free access to the vagina and enjoys the friction from the distinctive stimulating ribs.
Free access. Woo!
Made
Alright.
individually into
anyone.
shape.
Can't
Can be
beat
bent
free
as
access.
well,
It
to your
can be
shape
bent
as well.
as
If you
Yeah.
could get free access, so you never have to fucking try
Made
ever
out of
again.
silicone as well.
If I didn't
It
have
is,
to lie to get people to suck my dick and I just had free access all the time,
Yeah.
that would make my fucking life a lot easier.
Oh, right there, you can see a
Yeah,
picture
exactly.
of
You
it.
can see it going in. And obviously, because you can, like, I don't know.
I have to try that one later.
What's that thing? Like, you can, like, kind of shape it to
Like a pipe
your
cleaner
own...
type
Yeah,
of-
yeah, kind of. But, like, because not every vagina is the same. So
Obviously not.
there you can, you know?
Oh, that is
And it's on
interesting.
to be fair, like, it's 20 quid. And whenever I saw that, like, I never read anything about it. I just looked at it and I was like, what the fuck's that? 20 quid, like, anyone will buy that. But then when I read about it, I was like, do you know, that's not too bad, really.
There's a sexy woman
Like,
included
it's-
on the front of the cover.
I wonder if it's comfortable
Sadly
though.
not. Yeah, no. Well,
Do you know where?
that brings us to the next part. Scarlett, you've got to put it on.
Who's going to test it out with us?
I will.
You YouTube tutorial.
I've got 3 guys to choose from. Ooh.
Well, we'll all have a go. If it can accommodate Craig's cock at work, and
Jesus,
it widens you enough that you fucking need it.
Yeah, we'll try.
Tell you for fucking hell.
Well, she's fit. Right? Got to get her on the show.
Alright, can you contact the models on the box to see if they want to
so
fucking
things-
make a porn scene?
Nah, sadly, there's no...
There should be fucking
Information.
fun.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly. I have checked.
Is that the only one? I've got another one as well. Did you say?
I mean, I do have another one, but do you want another one?
No,
Or do you
keep it
just
for
want to
next
save
week.
it?
Keep it for next week. Plus,
You don't want to.
we're getting closer and closer to the 3 hours, so we've got to go.
Oh,
All right.
Right,
okay.
so we've talked about it, and people's. I'm pretty sure people have stopped listening to us now.
I'd imagine so.
I reckon this far in, we are talking to ourselves. You know what I mean? So
always getting it out.
He's opening it.
I want to thank everyone for coming
Oh, it's getting excited.
and listening.
Someone's been pushing that in themselves and we're touching it.
Actually, that's quite stiff.
Isn't it?
That
You
makes it
know
sound
what you
like
could
I'm
do?
touching your cock.
You know what you could do with that? You could do stop motion animation with that. Take it
could,
frame
eh?
by frame and let it go.
It looks like a laptop holder or a phone holder or something.
Yeah,
It does actually, aye.
that would hold my iPad up.
Yeah, you could use it for that. Just not it's probably cheaper.
Multi-uses, that, man.
Oh, that's
And then
strange as
shove
fuck,
it in your
man.
cunt.
That is strange.
Weird that like.
That is very strange. I can't see how that would be comfortable. I'm sorry. I really
Do you know what?
can't.
It's bigger than I thought it was.
Do you know what it reminds me of? A trap out of the Saw films.
Yeah, like maybe.
Traps your cock inside so you
Aye.
can't get out. Oh, can I
Like traps your fanny lips. So you...
You'll have to get an affiliate link for this because everyone's going to want one.
I want to play a game.
Fucking tell it like.
God, who makes these?
Right, ready to sign off then?
Yeah, man.
Right, so thank you for listening to the stream, and we hope you've enjoyed the chat. We can call it that, like. But hope to see you all again soon, and thanks for joining us. So just quickly before we go, if you want to appear in the show and you want your brand to pop up on the screen, then anything that you do in the adult business, if you've got something to promote, get in touch. JustFilms@gmail.com for more info on our sponsorship packages. You can also Instagram us, tweet us, and email us any of your questions for future episodes. We can see about you asking questions now, but again, we can't multitask because we're not fucking that clever. So we'll pick some at random and we'll answer some questions on the next show. So in the meantime, goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
I'm not doing it this time.
Wow.
You don't fucking say it to
Does
us.
that mean
Fucking
we've won?
No.
Have you grown?
Fucking bye, motherfuckers. There. There.
You really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know where I'm going, yeah. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. You really got me. Oh, you really got me.
This programme was brought to you by itsadult.com, the official adult business directory for fans, producers, services, webcam, phone chat and more.